Bozordon.
Oh no! We can't say the C word, Tyler. It has to be the guy, the giant head, the era without
Yeah.
the giant head.
Tube Man. Post
Tube
Tube Man.
Man.
Yeah,
Tube Man.
Tube Man. So yeah, we've got all the Rangers from Lost Galaxy to Wild Force here because we didn't include Wild Force last time because technically it's part of this era, even though it should be part of the giant head era. um Overall, initial impressions of this lineup after seeing all the seasons now, I don't think, except for the exception of two, and yeah, we've got someone in the chat, Benza, who, since you don't know Fex, he's one of the people that I'm watching Doctor Stone with at the moment. So
Nice.
so he's just jumped in. But yeah, initial lineup of all these Rangers, except with the exception of two, I don't think there's a Ranger here that we particularly disliked.
Yeah, there's like 2, maybe 3 that aren't good.
Yeah. So yeah, I think we can let's just get one of them out of the way right now because he's right at the front. So what better way to start off with this tier list with one of the worst Red Rangers ever. People often say like, "Oh, who's the worst Red Ranger?" People would say either Troy or Jaden from Samurai,
I've heard Nick.
or Nick, or as Tyler likes to say, in 3, 2, 1, Tyler.
Blank Karate Man.
Yeah, Blank Karate Man, Jason, but none of them compared to the. Now, I don't like to swear at this point, but I just have the biggest dickwad in the whole franchise in terms of Ranger characters, Alex Drake.
I mean, he definitely is a Drake, or a more appropriately a Snake.
Oh my god! I've just realized you've just. Wait, isn't? Oh, it's Alex. It's Alex Jones.
Yeah. They're making a freaking frogs
Okay,
game.
okay. Benson, what makes him an ob then? Okay, let's go through the list, shall we? Okay, he comes back to life, doesn't tell his fiancée that he's alive, comes back into the past, treats everyone like ass because their actions are, of course, the future to be altered, but he doesn't tell them. Now there might be a reason for that. And then he's just like, "Oh, I'm going to take over as Red Ranger, even though this Red Ranger's been doing pretty well." And his fiance starts falling in love with this particular Red Ranger of the past, who's his ancestor. And in order to probably have a last-ditch effort in order to not lose her, when they go back to the future, the fiance and all her team will leave the present-day Red Ranger behind. He's like, "Yeah, he didn't survive the fight, but it's okay. You're not going to remember him because I'm going to wipe your memories. Something that I never told you, despite the fact it being procedure of the police in the future."
Yeah.
So, this guy's an
let's
asshole.
give you a pseudo lobotomy, basically.
So Benson, imagine this, like, your best friend didn't survive the fight, but don't worry, we're going to make it all better for you by wiping your memory of that person. That is basically what he does. And when we saw the ring come off of his fiance, we were all cheering. There were cheers galore. So yeah, it was messed up. It was messed up in the season. It makes me want to watch some of these seasons again, not like go through all the history of franchise, just watch one particular season so you get a grasp on just how much messed up this character was.
It's strange, right? Because I'd never seen this season. I'd just seen like clips of it throughout like various media and had a little bit of knowledge from the comics. I never realized how messed up this character actually was. So I say he belongs in the relationship with Elgar.
Yes,
I agree. Relationship with Elgar.
That category was made especially for him.
I feel like there's one other ranger who will get that.
Oh no, because yeah, just from us explaining, you probably don't like him. Nobody likes it. Like there was this list on Screen Rant that put him higher than some of these other. He put him higher than Rocky as a Red Ranger. That is disservice to Rocky.
I mean, in terms of just like Ranger, he gets the things done that need to get done, right? But like that doesn't make his actions as a human any better just because he's willing to make the sacrifices and get the job done.
Yeah. So relationship with Algar, and anybody who knows the franchise knows they don't want a relationship with Algar.
No. Who wants the fleshy dude? Like, ew.
That looks like an ice cream cone.
Like, give me Froggy Mommy that can step on me.
No.
I mean, fuck. I'd take the guy whose name is like one letter away from porno.
He was a portly gentleman. It's a shame we'll never see him again.
Well, you never know. He could show never
again.
Oh, the eardrums on that.
Sorry.
We'll need like different shaped IMs after that one. Damn.
Yeah. And I know people will be like, Alex doesn't count as a Red Ranger. Yeah, your ears, Ben. Alex doesn't count as a Red Ranger. He got a morphing sequence. He counts as a Red Ranger.
Like, it's strange, right? Because he doesn't really act like, or he doesn't really have but like 2 episodes of time as a Red Ranger, right? The intro and then that one episode.
Yeah.
It's fucking crazy. He's still more hated than any other Ranger, really, to us.
Oh yeah. Although there are still some Red Rangers that have to go. So, but I don't think anyone who is willing to erase their memories of their fiance because they're jealous of a relationship that has formed. Yeah, I don't think anyone's gonna top that.
No.
No.
Yeah, he's basically like the Joker who shagged an org. Ben, yeah, that's Algar right there. But well, moving on from one of the most despised Ranger characters to probably one of the most likable characters, Alyssa, the White Wild Force Ranger.
Alyssa.
Alyssa to me, and I was talking about this with you, Tyler, yesterday before we started this. In many ways, she could have potentially been the leader. Like she's basically doing everything in the season. Like she's going to college. She broke away from her family's tradition, which, by the way, Alyssa's father, one of the best dads, could have been an asshole, but actually supported her.
Oh yeah.
She does the cooking. She obviously taught Cole some basic schooling, given the fact that he's basically Tarzan.
No, not like basically Tarzan.
Yep.
Still functions as Tarzan, even in the finale, ripping his goddamn shirt off and monkeying over to save a kid.
Yeah, but then he gets smacked away by Master Org. He never really got the hang of that.
Yeah, I will say, what I like to believe the reason why she didn't take the leadership position from Taylor or later on Cole, probably because she just like it's clear that she does the most stuff outside of Ranger stuff.
Yeah,
absolutely.
She still has like fully like formed and trained martial arts skills. She's going to college. She's like assumedly like pursuing like other stuff outside of here in her field, and then she's also a ranger. Like there's like one step away from overwhelmed at every turn for her.
Yeah, and I feel like there could have been like an episode dedicated to that. I mean, we get something like that in Ninja Steel where it's like you have the White Ranger of that season. It's either the Pink Ranger or the White Ranger of Ninja Steel, but basically they were focused so much on multitasking that they had to be told like don't do too many things at once. I feel like we could have had an episode like that with Alyssa where she's like just getting so overwhelmed that she could have potentially had a mental breakdown.
Yeah, well, the difference is the type of writers that are writing these shows, right? Like, we had boomers and Gen X writing Wild Force who are used to bottling and compartmentalizing everything versus, like, when Ninja Steel was being written, it was mostly, like, later millennials and Gen Z, right? Who are used to being like, I'm fucking burnt out, right?
Yeah. But it would have been nice to see something like that, like to not only have the weight of the world on your shoulders, but also the weight of your regular life, like what you want to do after this all ordeal is over.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
so
I do like that, like, other seasons touch on that too, because that is something that always bothered me watching Power Rangers.
Can you guys take over while I go and just check something?
Yeah, sure.
Sure thing.
Like, it always bothered me, like, because these are usually teenagers, right? Like, and teenagers are, trying to balance, like, or trying to learn that balance that never really sticks, like, of life, from personal, academia, because most of them are still in high school in this. They're also trying to balance at times jobs, but, like, and then they're literally superheroes, right? So you have to find that fine balance in our lives, like balancing like relationship, job, schooling if we're going to school, work. And it's very hard to find that. I can't imagine putting in like, oh, it's 4 p.m. The average monster fight, is happening right outside the juice bar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also sorry about that. Like, just had my mum calling me for my own white tiger.
Yeah.
Well, I guess not really a white tiger.
I have my giant gray tiger protesting that he's not in the studio right now. I can hear him over my monitors, so this is super fun.
Yeah, but it's also kind of funny how in Wild Force we have two characters. Yeah, Gem Power, Ben. Which, by the way, I would have liked to have seen like a Power Rangers Gem Beast swords. But anyway, I'm getting off topic here. It's kind of funny how in Wild Force we have Tommy, who was the White Ranger with the White Tiger sword, and Alyssa with the White Tiger from Wild Force.
I mean, it was bound to happen eventually, right? Like, and I'm sure it happens again later on, because like all of this post Lost Galaxy is basically new or new-ish to me. For those who don't know, so and almost everything in its entirety is new to Tyler. So
yeah, but I will say this just right off the bat: if you stopped at In Space, I seriously would highly recommend all these seasons.
I don't know. Like,
I would agree with that.
Like
I'm still like Peppermint Rangers isn't the greatest, but it is a lot better than.
It's not the greatest, but it's a lot better. It's actually made it into my top 10, so that's saying something because just going back and reevaluating it. But yeah, I would say like because a lot of people like did drop off after In Space Lost Galaxy. But I would say like just give them a chance. Same here. But same here. I watched Power Rangers, but I didn't watch all of them by far. But I would if I had to rank the seasons just in order, it would go Time Force, then Wild Force, then Lost Galaxy, and then Lightspeed Rescue.
I would
not saying like Speed Rescue is a bad season, but compared to the others,
it's good, but it's held down by possibly the worst writing to this point.
Yeah, and because it's sandwiched right in between the season that had to follow the Sword On era and the vastly more superior Time Force.
Mm-hmm. And that's what did it a massive disservice. Like, if you could remove, as much as I love her for the meme, if you could remove Vipra and you could remove like 5 of those episodes, also Joel, but put him in prison where he belongs, and then remove like 5 of those episodes, it'd be a vastly better season.
Also, yeah, I watched Time Force and Wild Force. Wild Force, I watched a lot. Yeah. Ben, I just gotta say that the one that's ranked at the bottom there, he is from Time Force.
Yeah.
Yeah, Alex is from Time Force.
So yeah, I mean, where I would put Alyssa in either Jungle Sword, Savage Flash, or Kick Ass across the Super Sentai.
I go for Jungle Sword.
Yeah, she's Jungle Sword, mainly because there are other weaker Rangers in her season alone.
Yeah. Much as I do like Max, I feel like out of all the Rangers, he does the least.
Like, I think
agree.
he's a great, foil, but he's not a great character.
I remember more of the Green Ranger in that show because of his hair. Oh yeah, we'll be getting to him eventually.
Yeah, we'll get the Trip.
Yeah. Is Trip? I'm pretty sure I did put Trip. Oh yeah, he's last.
Trip's at the back.
Oh, Trip is dead. That's just how they came out.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I like Trip. Watching Time Force again, I really did like Trip, but we'll get to him when we get to him.
Yeah.
But now, Carter Grayson, or as people would probably call him these days, Carter Muffin Effing Grayson.
I mean, he's great. I like him. Like, he's a great character.
He is Jason done right.
Yeah.
He's Jason done good.
Yeah. Like, there was nothing wrong with Jason other than the fact he had no personality, discernible hobbies other than karate, or even like a soul.
Yeah. Now, to be fair, you could say the same thing about Carter, but what separates Carter from Jason? Okay, Son gets it. What separates Carter from Jason is that he just revolves his life so around his profession that he's kind of like one of those people who are like, what do you know about yourself outside of that profession? And he eventually starts to realize, like, oh yeah, maybe I do need to take a step back.
And the thing is, like, not realistically in this season did we see anything outside of like their initial profession and then them being Power Rangers either. Whereas like with Jason and the rest of the Mighty Morphin crew, we saw like their hobbies, we saw like what they were doing in school, we saw like more of the human element than in Lightspeed Rescue. So we wanted to form like a connection more with these characters.
But we just couldn't with Jason.
No, we just absolutely couldn't because there was no human element to really connect with because all he did was go hee-yah and drink juice. That's it.
Yeah. And it's kind of funny because he does say in Forever Red, we were the ones doing all the work while Tommy was in the juice bar kissing our Kimberly.
But like, well, I mean, like once he's right, like, and I love that little sneak diss from him. But like there realistically was just as much time with him in the juice bar than there was with Tommy.
Yeah, fair enough. But yeah, I feel like a lot of people back in the day would have called Carter bland, but I think on reevaluation, people just see how much of a badass he is. Like in the first episode, what is the first instinct he goes for? It's like, okay, the monster's there. I have a car. What am I going to do?
Over.
Go and try and run over the monster. It's just that kind of forward thinking that's just like makes him so determined. But at the same time, that's why people dislike Jason touching up Kimberly. Everyone's early crush.
Yeah.
But this is what separates Carl from Jason is that he actually does have problems that he has to overcome, and one of them being his bullheadedness.
Oh yeah, it was like 3 episodes in, he was just overcoming like his struggles, right?
Yeah.
And that was more character writing than Jason got, because for some reason, like, even though Jason was the original leader, like, they focused more on, say, Billy and Trini than they did in leader.
Yeah. What of boldness? I don't know what that means. But yeah, so it's like in episode 3, and this is like one of my favorite car episodes. It's like because I was watching, I showed you it. Okay, so do you remember? I don't know if you remember watching Who Wants to Be a Superhero, the American version of Vex.
What's that?
Who Wants to Be a Superhero, your American version?
I don't know that reference.
No, there was a TV show that Stan Lee did called Who Wants to Be a Superhero back in the day.
Yeah, I don't remember that. Like,
Okay.
I never saw that.
Okay.
I might be too young for that.
Yeah, you might have been too young for that, Tyler, but there was a kid version of it, which has gone on to CBBC, and it was the one that I was showing you because it had that strange power ice appeal, and I was like, what the hell is that?
That's what that's from.
Yeah.
Okay.
So anyway, this is actually a point. So they had a challenge in one of the episodes where they had to get from point A to point B, but they had obstacles along the way that they had to, it would take up their time, but it was to help out people. And even though some of them got the fastest time, they actually ended up losing because they didn't help out the people. And that's kind of what Carter did in episode 3, because he was like, I've gone all the monsters, fastest time, but Mitchell actually failed him. And he didn't understand why at first. And a lot of people do criticize Mitchell for not explaining it to him, but I've always said Mitchell knows that their profession, they're adults, they should know this stuff right off the bat, why he failed them. And it turns out that the reason why Mitchell failed him is because he shot some of the like prop gas canisters.
Oh yeah, like that's crazy to think about. Like, but it's exactly what his job needs, right? That's, that you need both the forward thinking and the like time focus, because everything is like a hazard as a firefighter, right? But at the same time, you need to have like the ability to have situational awareness. Like, what is the hazard in here? What is exactly what's going to, potentially, hinder the situation, hurt myself, my fellow firefighters, the civilians that might be trapped in the building. So Mitchell was in the right to fail him initially, because he wasn't thinking about the full situation. He was just thinking about speed, because he's like, well, how fast is everyone else coming out of there?
Yeah. And maybe the reason, and also crazy fan theory that I think I mentioned this when we did the Lightspeed one, that the reason Mitchell failed him is because of the fact that Mitchell was in a similar situation himself, where it's like he was put on the spot, really quick thinking, and it ended up costing him dearly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I feel like that's always been like Mitchell's stance. Like, okay, what have I learned from my past that I can apply to my team here?
Yeah, like.
Yeah. But
I think rank wise though.
Though, and also I can't forget my favorite moment from him, where Olympius gets into the base, the demon gets into the base of the Aqua base. So what does Carter do? Tackles him and throws him into the water. I just love that moment where that actually happens. And again, after Mitchell says like, Carter, go and have your day off, he's like, no, still gotta be training. It's like, you do enough, Carter. Just go and be yourself outside of a ranger for once.
Mm-hmm.
You do start to see him joking around a little bit more after that point.
Yeah, and like you see him come more into being like a regular character, and that's something you didn't see a lot of a Red Ranger up to that point, right? They were always like the hard ass, the one that needs to get the job done. And then after that, you saw them like forming into more of like a human character. They still were focusing on the job. They were still doing, all the things that they need to do as a Red Ranger, as a leader. But they have more of that, more of that spark of the human element, which is something that you need as for a character in general.
Yeah. So in terms of ranking, basically the stuck up. Yeah, I wouldn't call Kara stuck up. More like just like a by the books, like I'm going at my own pace kind of character.
Mhm.
But yeah, in terms of the ranking,
I'd put him in Jungle Sword.
yeah, I would. I'd put him above Alyssa. I don't know about you, Vex.
I would put him below Alyssa. Like he's still a great character, but he's also not quite there yet.
Okay, all right, that's fair. That's fair. So yeah, the next one is what a coincidence! We had the red light speed ranger, and now we have the blue light speed ranger with Chad Lee, the SeaWorld guy.
What did he do other than try and fuck a fish?
I mean, like my thing with Chad
he-
is like he was a fun character. Like, he was all about like yeah. What did Chad do?
He was all about. He was more about the martial arts and basically being the guy who could be like, who was in tune with the water type of character.
And he tried to fuck a fish.
Yeah, it was a mermaid. It was King Neptune's daughter, Ben. He tried to fuck King Neptune's daughter. Yep, Atlantis exists in the Power Rangers universe.
Yep.
And her name was Maria. So yeah, he was basically Aquaman, and her name was Maria. So think Stingray, Aqua Maria. You'll probably be the only one that'll get that reference, Ben.
He was Aquaman. Yeah, basically, he was fucking Aquaman without the trident or the Jason Momoa hair.
He was more like Super Friends Aquaman, except slightly more competent in combat.
Come on, Rangers, we can totally use where. Oh, there's a whale sword later on. Ben. There's a whale sword. But yeah, I would say if I had to pick the one from Lightspeed that has the least impact, it would probably be Chad. Much as I like his character, he's not really one that you can really talk about all that much in terms of overall development.
Yeah, like I thought his episode with Brian was pretty neat, but it was just it was neat.
Yeah, and the only other episode after that he really got a chance to shine aside of the mermaid episodes was the one with his old mentor, which, by the way, screw that guy. I will never understand people in this world that are like, oh, you have to do it this one way. There is no other way you can be a hero to people. And it's like, he is literally a Power Ranger. They are the definition of superheroes. Yeah. And it had to take him getting tripped by a monster to realize, oh wait, maybe my student has a point.
Yeah.
But yeah, just in a season of Rangers that I actually really like, because I like all the Lightspeed Rangers, but I would say out of all of them, Chad would be aside from one other, but he's a very special kind of snowflake. But the next one up after that, I would say would be Chad, and I would put him in too little, too late power up.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, too late power up is fine.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing inherently wrong with his character compared to one other one, but there's nothing inherently bad about him. He's pleasant enough to be around. Yeah. And now it serves him right for being he was basically what the sensei was. He was racist to the Rangers. But yeah, so now we're on to I don't know about you, but I think this will be our first Ultra Raw character, which is ironically fitting in the form of Cole Evans. And again, this has no basis on what the actor did. We're just talking about the character. Honestly,
did he serve his meat ultra raw? Sorry.
What?
I mean, he caught up a dude. Like,
don't bet. Don't bet.
So I'm cringing at myself for making the joke.
Yeah. But overall, I do like Cole's story in the series and how can he be racist at all different? They'll find a way. They'll find a way.
Life finds a way.
Yeah. But honestly, revisiting Cole's story and seeing it all the way through from start to finish, I really enjoyed his story of the guy who was so in tune with nature to the point that he was Dr. Dolittle, essentially, realizing that, there is actually pure evil in the world, and that can never be repaired. That can never be repaired, no matter what. And he learns it in possibly the worst possible way in the season.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and you said, Vex, the line "You have no heart." That was probably one of the coldest lines in the whole franchise.
Absolutely.
Like to just see like the most purest of purest souls in Cole say that, it would be kind of like if say, and I know you don't, I know you are not particularly fond of the season Vex, but it'd be kind of like Deku saying to Shigaraki, "You have no heart."
Yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate, right? Because like you're comparing like one of the best seasons of Power Rangers to one of the worst series of all time, but you're right.
Yeah, but that's a debate for another time. But I do but as well, I do like the idea of the parallel storytelling between Cole and Dr. Adler and how their stories tie into each other in a neat little bow. And because you have Cole, who sees the purest of evil in its purest form, both from the orc side and from the human side, in the form of Dr. Adler. And instead of going down the path of revenge, like Dr. Adler was egging on me, he was like, "No, I'm better than you."
And he was, right? Because he just left him to languish, in his misery. And then, well, spoilers for like 2 seconds later, the dude gets just fucking murdered and then resurrected. So,
and I do like as well the Cole being able to actually communicate with the swords as well. It's kind of like when he gets to the Animarium, it's kind of like the Red Lion kind of becomes like a spiritual brother to him, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Or I guess you could say like, hey, it's the pet's cat or dog that I've always wanted. Who's a good boy? Who's a good boy?
Who's a good kitty? Who's a good kitty? Yes, you are, Red Lion.
Red Lion. And I do like how his story concludes, because it's kind of like a FU to Dr. Adler, because Dr. Adler never really got to have his proper it was my rightful revenge because everybody betrayed me. I'm fed up with this world. I had to get that in one more time.
Oh yeah.
But Cole was just like, no, I'm gonna leave these flowers to you because you need to find peace in this world.
Yeah,
and it's kind of ironic as well. The purest of souls was able to somewhat forgive and move on with his life, whereas the one human that was consumed by revenge could only find peace in death.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great story. I just find it wild that like one of the purest humans on the planet was willing to leave flowers on the grave of the Power Rangers' first incel.
Yeah. But like I said, it's probably due to the fact, like I said in the Wild Force video, it's probably due to the fact that he found out what happened to his parents, but because he never knew them, he couldn't really like grasp
Right.
how angry he was supposed to feel. He was just like, I guess, what else can I do? I can only move on now.
Right. Like he was an infant when they were murdered.
Yeah.
Like Adler was the Enso, who was like the pseudo doctor, Master Organ.
Yeah. Okay. So to give you context, the main villain of Wild Force was the incel Ben. That's who we're talking about. So and also as well, that's another thing that I do like about Cole's character is that they could have so easily wrote in like, oh no, it's because this was apparently going to happen. His parents are alive, and they're actually a brainwashed Gindrax and Toxica. That was a rumor that was supposed to happen.
Oh God, no.
Yeah, but no, I'm actually glad that they had the balls to like, no, the parents are dead, and they are staying dead.
Mm-hmm. The original Master Org, not before he gets taken back over from the actual Master Org.
Yeah, it's confusing. You're gonna have to rewatch the season to know what we're talking about.
Yeah. Like what little bit I had seen of Wild Forest before this, like I had no knowledge of that. Like I had seen like clips of like the like Toxica getting sacrificed as a human shield. I'd seen like little bits of like the fight that the one-on-one fight, and that was basically it. So I had no idea like how shitty of a person or a monster Master Org was until like we watched it together, and on a full watch through, like this is one of my favorite seasons so far.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And that fight between Cole and Dr. Adler, Master Org, that is one of the best fights in the season, 1-on-1.
Oh yeah, 100%. Like I think it's one of the best fights in Power Rangers.
Oh yeah, I agree with that. And I did say that their relationship is probably the best Red Ranger main villain relationship. But then I was reminded, oh wait, there's another one that could rival it. It's in it's in one of my favorite seasons. We'll get to that when we get to it.
Oh yeah.
But in terms of just now, straight up like main villain and main character of the season, because Cole is essentially the main character of this season. Yeah, there is no question about it. Like they have like the most complex relationship, and it's beautiful where the story goes with them.
He's ultra raw to me, by the
way. Absolutely. There is no question about that. Ultra raw. Despite what the actor did, the character is ultra raw.
He's out on parole now too, by the way.
Yeah, he's out. He's been released. So, but I don't think, and he could potentially come back to acting because there have been instances where that has happened in the past.
Robert Downey fucking Jr.
No, where people have gone to prison for murdering, but then came back and did acting afterwards.
Yeah, there's not too many. I was just saying, like prison in general. Junior's like the prime example of that. He was in and out until Iron Man.
Yeah. So I feel like Ricardo Medina Jr. Will like maybe after a long time maybe be allowed to come back.
I feel like because I've seen that he was doing conventions already, so it's interesting. Yeah, Tim Allen too.
Tim Allen, and
trafficking of all things, if I remember right.
Yeah,
he has so much cocaine on him.
Yeah, and we won't know the full story of Ricardo about what happened, but my personal take of it,
I'm sure he'll start a podcast and tell all.
Yeah, I feel like it was just like a spur of the moment of anger. And
if I know how much fucking was on the cast of Ned's Declassified against my will, I'm sure Ricardo will tell all in a podcast series.
Yeah. But I like to think, this is just my opinion, that it was just a spur of the moment anger that got out of control.
Oh, yeah. Definitely understand. There are better ways to handle things, but like, I definitely understand that, like, in the heat of the moment thing.
Yeah. So anyway, moving away from depressing stuff to more positive stuff. Our first Lost Galaxy Ranger and the better Green Ranger between this one and the Green Ranger of Lightspeed Rescue, Damon.
Yeah, Damon's a good character. I'd say he's probably the weakest of the Lost Galaxy crew.
Yeah, and that's only because like the Lost Galaxy crew do have because this was the season where you started. I mean, it happened with Andros in space, but this was truly the season where it's like the Rangers started to have like acts like actual characters, because with a lot of the whatchamacallit, the Sordon era Rangers, like we really didn't really have a lot to say about a lot of them, with a fair few exceptions. But now we're nearly an hour in, and we're not even halfway through this list.
Yeah, well, I
when
mean,
we get to a certain season, we'll go all the way back around.
oh god, yeah,
Oh god, yeah. Although
dreading that.
I think we'll talk about that for all the wrong reasons with that season.
That's also a possibility with us.
But yeah, Damon, I do like Damon. Even though it was confusing at the beginning, like this is a museum, not a spaceship, but it's the Astral Megazord.
Well, I figure it was just decommissioned and used as a prop, like a World War II ship, right? Like, or a plane. Like you see that all the time. Like even you can tour
that,
like,
and you need the shell in order for it to be really a Megazord.
right, that too. You see the like decommissioned, like even Vietnam era ships be used as touring museums for Navy purposes, right? Here, there's a big one off the coast of New York that you can actually just go in, and it's like supposedly haunted and everything. One of the podcasts I listened to actually toured it. Crazy as fuck, but you won't catch me dead in it, but like go off. So I guess they were using it for the same purposes, right? They were using it for tourism. I also think like his other like really confusing but good moment was when he refused the promotion, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because that just goes to show just what it's like. Because he was one of those characters who was like, I am not like a sit behind a desk test taker written exam kind of guy. I just like to be out there getting my hands dirty.
Yeah, I'm here for a paycheck, guys. Let me continue to fix things for a paycheck.
Yeah.
But he legitimately just loves like fixing stuff. That's why he didn't want the job in the first place.
Yeah.
It's just like, I know what I'm gonna do once I get there. I'm gonna be behind a desk telling other people what to do when I want to get up in the nitty gritty, covered in grease.
Yeah,
like it sucks. Like being in charge of people and not being able to do something you're passionate about, it definitely sucks. Because like when I was at not my last job, but the job before that, before I got let go with a lot of my team, like I enjoyed the actual being on the ground, fixing things and doing the things that I actually was.
Also, this guy, I'm confused on what he's saying. Like, what? Wait, who brought up Tim Allen?
Oh, we were talking about Ricardo Cole's actor, about how he's been released from prison and he could potentially come back to doing acting in maybe a decade or two's time.
I forgot that was his name. I was thinking about, why are we talking about the other Tim Allen?
But like the second I took like the promotion, it was like basically pseudo supervisor. Like I didn't get to do fucking anything other than make the schedule and put people where they were the most applicable. You know, like
it was like
person's good with this machine. Fuck it, you're going there for the day. Sorry, you were there 3 days in a row now. But we're not running anything else that you're good enough at to actually pump it out, right? It sucked. And go ahead, Sangetsu.
I mean, he's like, he did what he had to do for the season. That's actually more of a compliment to the season that he's like the lowest hanging fruit among the main cast of Rangers.
Right. No, it is.
Well, I mean, it's the only one only one of the Rangers who was it goes to show like how valuable his skills were when even the villains were like, okay, yeah, we're gonna use you.
Right. No, that's a good fair point as well. Like he got fucking kidnapped essentially. Like he was used to repair their ship. With like other people being used as hostages, right? So he was fucking
But let's be honest. The only reason that he was probably wrote in to be kidnapped was because like, oh, we need a reason to get Trakina's actress and Damon's actor together so that they can do more flirting.
Listen, it worked well for him, didn't it?
Yeah, I mean they ended up getting married. He ended up marrying the bug monster.
Listen, I kind of get it.
Don't you be out here trying to shame us?
Hey, I'm not.
Our monster girls.
Hey, I'm not. I've seen their Instagram posts and some of their Twitter. They're a cute couple together.
Like I get it until I don't. Okay, like once she gets past a certain form of like, okay, now she's just full on monster. I'm not into it anymore.
You're lost.
You can keep Form 2's costume on during sex, okay? Not Form 3.
Well, you. Hey, no judgment, nothing. Be happy. Like, yeah, I mean, the actors. I mean, something good came out of Lost Galaxy. I mean, it got two of the main crew. No. We're talking about. Okay, so the main thing in Lost Galaxy was a bug woman, and the Ranger that we're talking about, his actor married that actress, Ben.
Yeah, we were just making jokes about it.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy though. Like it's like I never expect like hero and villain to get married in real life, right? Because most of their time is spent, bashing each other for for the better part of like the script, right?
Well, hey, if it makes
more common than you think.
Yeah, if it makes you feel any better, Vex, Roy Mustang's voice actor in Fullmetal Alchemist is actually married to Lust's voice actor.
I get it. Okay, I get it. Lust was a great character. Goddamn. But like for the intents of this list, I think like the green category, I can't read it.
Vex step on disapproval. I wouldn't put him that low.
I like Damon. It's like I thought he was just like a chill down to earth guy who loved his job. I do think he could have benefited from more screen time though.
Absolutely.
Now, if he had more screen time, I would definitely put him in Kick Ass, but that as far as I can put him is like too little, too late.
Yeah, I would definitely put him
fair.
in.
Agreed.
That's fair.
Above
Kai. Not Kai, Chad.
Yeah, above Chad.
No, we'll get to Kai. We'll get to Kai eventually.
Mm-hmm.
A Joker and Batman are a prime couple in the comics. I mean, they are a technical.
They are a couple. It's like I wouldn't say they're a good one.
They are literally a couple in one timeline too. So like it's funny.
I should.
Well, in two timelines actually, you got the Flashpoint timeline where they're like, Martha and what's his name, fucking Bruce's dad, and then like the actual Joker and Bruce are fucking a bitter lover couple that end up committing to double suicide essentially in an alternate timeline.
Forget about all that. We're talking about Best Nurse.
No, we got to do it properly. Hello, Nurse.
I applaud you for that reference.
Yeah. Well, technically, she's a paramedic who becomes a doctor, but
Listen, I'll hurt myself just to get a chance with her.
yeah. So Dana Mitchell.
We're counting it. She has a Megazord that's the giant, like, ambulance that she can ship people.
Yeah.
I'm
Thank
joking.
you. Thank you, Ben, for doing the goodbye nurse. So yeah. We've got the pink Lightspeed Ranger, Dana Mitchell, Captain Mitchell's daughter, and sister to Ryan Mitchell, the Titanium Ranger.
Titanium Ranger.
Yeah. She's the only real issue I have with her is that episode where she becomes a fashion model.
God, why did that episode exist? Why?
The problem with that episode is that it could have worked, but it just doesn't work for Dana's character. Like, she's always been like one of those characters who is kind of like Damon, who's just like, I just want to do my job and just be like as professional as possible, not really being more in like that episode would be more suited for a Joel type storyline.
No, but why is that so true? Like, he is the most vain motherfucker on the planet. He'd be perfect for that.
Yeah. I just don't get like why. What was it? It was probably just another excuse time because I don't know what it was with Power Rangers and having this theme of the yellow and pink Rangers having arguments.
Because men like catfights, Luke. They find them attractive for some reason.
Thankfully, Lightspeed was the only one. Was the last one that kind of did that before we got into more competent relationship between pink and yellow.
Right? Like, I'm glad that we moved past that tried stereotype because it's so boring. Like, no one cares.
But there is, but aside from that episode, there is a lot to like about Dana. Like, for one thing, the fact that she was the one who was like, "Hey, I'm gonna scout out all the Rangers that need to be scouted out for this mission." But even then, even when scouting out the mission, like in the first episode, you see like, okay, my profession comes first, safety of the people first. To the point that she's like, "Oh, this guy's got a kid. Okay, time to go into paramedic mode."
Yeah, no, like that's what's so fucking cool about her, right? Like, it's like when she's needed, right? When she's needed to do the thing, she'll drop fucking everything that's going on around her and attend to the situation at hand and focus on her job. Yeah. Whereas you had another Ranger in this season too preoccupied with trying to score.
Oh yeah, and he's coming up. He's coming up after one of the most badass Pink Rangers ever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So like, I think Dana gets like ultra raw. Honestly, like I think she's like the best Ranger in the season, hands down. I think she is possibly one of the strongest written characters in that era. I think that she's held by like one major flaw, and that being that one poorly written episode. And that's it.
Yeah. But and also the relationship between her father and her is like one of the most wholesome relationships, like because they actually feel like a father, like more like yes, Captain Mitchell is her superior officer, but he treats her. He understands like she's still my daughter first and foremost before everything else. And to the point that he had to, it must be painful for him all those years to actually have to lie to her about, yeah, your brother died. Rather than admitting that I sold your brother to the devil.
It's crazy, right? So, like, I sold your kid to the kid brother to the devil so he would be able to survive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and also, okay. The thing that elevates it to ultra raw, I think, for me as well, would be the episode where the bus gets hijacked. The hijacked bus episode. I do
really enjoy that episode.
Well, no, she stares down at a guy pointing a gun at her, like a legitimate firearm.
Mm-hmm.
like she has so many like giant monsters breathing fire on her. I think like a bullet is like the least of her concerns.
Honestly, valid.
Valid, but still, like, to be on a bus in that situation and basically be like essentially being hijacked by the T word that
Mhm.
I'm not gonna say.
Yeah.
But yeah, and yeah, just for the fact that she always puts her job first and foremost before everything else. Yeah, I can agree with you, Fax. I don't know about you and Tyler. Where Songetsu, where would you put her?
I would probably put her kind of somewhere in like Jungle Sword, right around there.
Tyler,
What?
where would you put Dana?
For Dana, I'd probably put her in Kick's ass.
Okay, so shall we say compromise top of Jungle Sword Savage Slash?
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, that's fair.
Mhm.
The funny thing is, I don't think there's a better Ranger in her season.
Yeah, I mean, I would still argue Carter, but yeah, I can see an
I'd
argument
argue
for
Carter
Dana.
too.
I would say Carter just has a few more badass moments than her.
Also, she has
And now we're going
the,
to talk about everybody's favorite bison.
Oh, the sweetest cinnamon roll ever. Can we? You know what? I'm not even gonna. There's no question about it. Danny or automatically goes up there. I don't care what anyone says.
You're wrong.
I would say you're absolutely wrong, but I have no control over your mouse.
Okay. Why I would put Danny in Ultra Raw? He is one of the most wholesome guys ever. He but also goes through a character arc of himself of overcoming like his inferiority complex because he's not the bravest of Rangers, like and certainly not the most confident of Rangers, but the relationship that he has with Max, who you would think that because Max is younger than him, Max would be the one to have to learn from Danny more. But no, it's actually the other way around. Like Max's youthful optimism gives Danny that confidence to, and I know it's corny to say, never give up.
Never give up. My poor boy. There's a point where you will give up. And it's called adulthood.
Yeah. But no, I do like that. I do like that about Danny's character of like when Max says that in that flashback that we get with them, when they're fighting the Bell Org, and it's just like that sticks with him. It's like no matter what the situation is in, then in the finale they're literally stripped down to everything. No powers, no swords. You've got the giant Master Org staring them down, and he has the balls to say to Master Org, "We will never ever give up." Like he would probably like, as long as I'm breathing, I am gonna keep on fighting.
Yeah, like one of them was basically stripped, fighting Master Org,
and that's why. And that's why I appreciate that finale more so than one anniversary special, because of just the fact that the Rangers were just stripped down to their bare basics. They were prepared to die just for the chance to save the world.
Literally, like they were on the verge of death, which is strange to think about. Like, how often now at this point have we had like the Rangers ready to just die? But like this one just felt. Like next to In Space, this is probably the best finale so far.
I'd still put Time Force ahead of it by a slight margin, just because of the emotional and personal story that it tied up for everything.
The story's great, but like at the end of the day, Rancic just fucking surrendered, right? Like,
fair enough.
Like as we're like saying like the ending by itself, I would say this ending.
Yeah, I would say why I think the end of time tops the end of the Power Rangers is just for the fact that it didn't make me go, what? No, this is bullcrap at any point. AKA the jackets.
The jacket's fine.
Or the end
I
of
get
Lost
it.
Galaxy.
What? You didn't like Lost Galaxy's ending?
Kendrick should have stayed dead.
I agree.
Yeah, I
agree.
agree with that. I agree with that.
Like, I
Um,
get that they wanted to give her residuals. That's like the legitimate only reason why they brought her back is so they could give her residuals. But like, what is a Power Ranger residual? 3 cents?
I guess.
Well, you could bring her, have her be like a ghost. Just have her be chilling.
Yeah,
like a
Jedi
ghost.
Ghost.
Yeah, it literally like will serve the same in purpose. Like it's stupid. And also like this putting the Quasar sabers back.
Like I kind of get why she got back and all that. It was like Lost Galaxy did feel like a fairy tale story, sort of.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With the Galactic
Morphic,
Beast.
the Morphic Grid is kind of like this magical, mystical source of power that preserves
After
like
Cosmic Fury, like the Morphin Grid is like an enigma, right? Like, how is Zordon still alive?
I always argue his spirit lives on and all that is good, which is what the Morphic Grid is essentially.
Fine, I get it, but it's
Okay,
still bullshit.
All right, Ben, thanks for joining us.
Still fucking bullshit.
Good night.
But yeah, anyway, and also as well, Danny, and I want to give him at least this one win because because Joel got the win, but not Danny.
Yeah.
So
I
we're
wanna get- I
judging
wanna-
them solely on themselves, and I would definitely put him at the top of Kick-Ass.
Yeah.
Okay, why not Ultra for Danny? What holds him back for you guys?
He's nothing outside of a couple good episodes, right? Like he's a wholesome boy.
But he's
a
the
wholesome
most.
boy.
I just want to give him a hug. I just want to give him the biggest hug ever.
Yeah, and I want to smash Vipra, but that doesn't give her like ultra raw because I'd be going in ultra raw. But
All right, fine,
In the bar party.
fine.
Hey, I would have
Alright.
gone for Jungle Sword.
Well, since I want to go for Ultra Raw with Danny, you want to go with being out forward. He's got to go at the top of Kick-Ass across the center.
and we have useless Von Ego here.
But also as well, one other thing I want to say to Danny is that, okay, yeah, this is the one thing that holds back Danny is that he could have so easily been the counter argument to the Kite storyline.
Yeah, he could have been, and
Yeah.
the writers didn't write it.
But yeah, we have here the guy with the chip on his shoulder that just likes to be the brooding badass because I was dirt poor.
Which
Bottom yellow.
doesn't really like him doing that could have worked if like he didn't have a best friend that was like with him forever, but he just said, you know what, fuck it anyway. Let me be an asshole.
Yeah, no, like 100%. Like
Yeah.
he's useless. He's got an ego. He's everything that the fucking Piranhatron song is about.
Well, no, he's not useless. I mean,
He's
fights-
useless.
No, facts, because
I
he
wouldn't
does
go
fi-
that far and
He
say
does
he's
fight.
useless.
He does fight in the end with Wes after everyone has gone back to the future.
Boo.
I am sorry, Fex, but we have to give him points for that. Like he does have his badass moments, and he has the Q-Rex.
Don't care.
Yeah, we're not
ask.
counting Megazords.
Okay, but I'm gonna count.
Okay.
I'm gonna count it, and I'm gonna count points for. I do not care, you guys. I love it. The mega battle mode.
Ugh.
We're not counting any power-ups or anything.
Okay.
We're just counting them based on themselves.
Do we count the fact that I did find like him taking care of those birds kind of cute?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, you
Cute.
can't hate someone that cares for animals.
Yes, I can.
I hate Hitler. He cared
Yeah.
for animals.
Oh,
H.P. Lovecraft had a cat.
fuck. Okay, so, but I wouldn't say he is totally useless, Vex, because
Useless.
he does
Not
he
even
does
useless. He ain't shit.
Yeah, his backstory is hella shallow. Like his reasoning for to be like a bitter asshole to everybody.
I'm a brooding.
I'm so broody, but I had a best friend. He supported me with everything, but no, I said fuck him because he's rich.
So where are we putting him? I'm not putting him in
I'm
relationship.
putting him in Vex step.
I think okay, fair enough. We'll put him in
Yeah,
there.
we'll put him in disapproval.
Yeah, because Vex disapproves of him.
Yep, absolutely.
But
He doesn't even get one toe on him.
Oh my god! But now we get to the most badass.
Yeah, the leader of Time Force gets the Ultra Roar.
Oh,
absolutely.
absolutely.
Without
no
a shadow of a doubt.
You know what? Cole is
Put him above Cole.
Putting her above Cole. Putting her above Cole. But yeah, Jen. Oh, she just broke the mold for Pink Rangers because up to that point they were just like just imagine a fight between her and Kimberly. Like Kimberly would get her ass whooped.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Your gymnastics, great. Like that's fine. You have gymnastics. I have actual skills, and I look damn great in latex.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, and again, just the relationship between her, it's like one of those weird love triangles that, for the most part, actually does work.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of the creepier like love triangles because it's just like her fiance, and like they're on like the equivalent of her fiance is like caveman.
Yeah,
like ancestor.
But Senku said it best in Dr. Stone. Yeah, we're several hundred generations apart, so we're not technically related anymore.
Well, apparently they were related enough for the Morpher to work, Luke.
Fuck. Yeah, that is one of the most frustrating things about it.
Yeah, it's wild.
I was like, I love how they did that, but it made no sense if you know how DNA works.
Yep.
Yeah, because the DNA
he would have to be an exact clone of him in order for that to work.
Well, I mean, eugenics and all. But...
Technically, it could work if my theory actually comes through. If my theory was ever confirmed about Wes and Jen, in the sense that Jen eventually decides to stay back in the past and starts the family tree with Wes leading up to Jen and Alex in the future.
So you're
which
saying
is kind of a weird paradox there.
No, it's exact paradox. That's what paradoxes mean.
Yeah,
it's like Fry being his own grandpa.
That's really the only reason I can see that actually.
Yeah,
working.
Jen is her own grandmother. There we go.
Yeah, there we go. It's the Philip J. Fry. It's the David Lister. It's the what other character is their own grandfather in science fiction?
Yeah.
That still wouldn't explain the Morpher.
Unless it coincides with a theory.
Unless the Morpher was designed to be very nice and is like, okay, yeah, this is close enough.
Yeah. Unless it's like related to a theory that we'll get into when we get to a particular season. But yeah, Jen as a whole on a character she's just badass. She is just like one of the most badass Rangers. But I shouldn't be saying this. I shouldn't be saying this about this because this apparently doesn't exist in the world. Strong, independent women? How woke can you be?
No, people just like bad writing, and they're not really good at explaining it.
Mhm.
And again, and also as well, I've got to give a props for this being the last one standing against Rancic. Like that just brings her up points. The fact that I am injured, I am on my last breath, but I'm still gonna try and attempt to bring you back to the future and arrest you. Yeah. And you've got, and also as well, Fakes, you got. I said this in the Wild Force video, and I'm saying it again. You gotta love it when you had Jen and Katie, not Jen and Katie, Jen and Taylor teaming up together in the Wild Force team up.
Yeah.
I'll just say here, people love a strong character, quote unquote strong character that has vulnerabilities. No one likes a monolith, like cardboard cutout that doesn't feel anything.
Yeah, and even though Jen is a strong independent woman, she does have her weaknesses. Like she is just at the beginning of the series just so driven and so determined to avenge Alex that it kind of blinds her to what she does at times.
Yeah, no.
She lets her emotions get the best of her at so many points in the series.
It's rare to have a Pink Ranger that feels like an actual person, right? Like up until this point, like we didn't have any such thing as competent writing for a female character in this franchise. Like we had good moments for a character, but like Jen was the first time a Pink Ranger felt like an actual human with real personality traits, with real like actual like drive and ambition, other than like and being the one on the team, and that was her main motivation, or doing good in school, or doing good in that one hobby. Like she felt like an actual well put together character. And I think it's just because of the season that she was in that it stuck so well at the time, and she went down historically as like one of the best written Rangers, because there wasn't a lot of shit to do in the background. Like they still did like goof arounds with like the making money thing, and they did like little tiny bits and pieces of stuff, but they were still focused mainly on taking down Rancic, and it gave
And
her.
I guess it would kind of fit for like some of those other characters because like, well, besides like saving the world, like they were, some of them were still students in the series, so it would make sense why they were more focused on, like their classes and
Right.
whatever like secondary like hobby they had, because it was like they don't focus on it now. When are they going to focus on it?
Right. No, like that's entirely fair to the style of shows as they've evolved, right? Like because we started as like an episodic like Monster of the Week story, and like Mighty Morphin up until like arguably Lost
And
Galaxy.
arguably we still have, because that's kind of the whole point of the genre. But we're less focused on it in certain cases.
Yeah, we're less focused on it and like more on the overarching serialized storytelling.
Right, and we have like more competent writing for the most part. Not always, but for the most part, like we have a lot more competent writing though. Than like here is a monster that will bake you into a pizza, and also
Shut
your mouth. That was a great episode.
Thank you, thanks. We will die on a hill. We will die on a hill defending the pizza episode.
You will die on the hill alone. Arguably,
yes,
we
will not die on that hill unfilled, because we will be full of pizza.
Vex, are you taken over by evil pizzas? Do we have to use the simple stoplight to stop them?
I think the stoplight would just
I'm
stop.
sorry, your anti-pizza propaganda.
Oh, just so Getsu, just wait until we get to a particular season, because we're going to be making so many references that I think Vex will probably want to douse 2-ton bottles of alcohol. You know the season that I'm referring to.
I'm already going to be consuming enough alcohol to kill a fucking liquor store when we're dealing with Megaforce.
So. Oh god, yeah. So anyway, yeah, and also Jen is. I said this in the Time Force video, but I'll say it again. This whole team of Rangers really did feel like family to each other. With Jen being obviously the mommy dom that Fex wants to have them have Jen step on them.
Like, but it's more yellow. It's more yellow in the last 2 seasons. I'll admit. There's just something about strong woman character who can break me in half. I can't help it.
Yeah,
And it's enough about really, really great characters. And now we're getting Sky Cowboy.
Oh God, here we go. You know what?
And a throuple with Dickhead and Elgar.
I was thinking
No,
about
no.
putting him in Blasted by the Z-Wave.
That was the reason why I created Blasted by the Sea Wave specifically for Joel.
Okay.
Yeah, he only edges out Alex because he didn't feel the need to wipe someone's memory.
Listen, it don't take much to not try and lobotomize your former partner. I don't know how that's such a bad concept or a hard concept to grasp. Like, I'm sorry. Like, the eugenics got too fucking deep into you, I guess. But I created a whole word for this motherfucker.
Yeah. What was the word?
Riz Rasmus.
Because he really thought he had Riz, but he was just sexually harassing his boss.
Yeah, to the point that he didn't even realize, like, oh shit, this woman I'm hitting on is actually the tech person who designed the swords and our powers.
And then he's like, I'm doing it anyway.
I'm gonna do it anyway. And then the show taught you the worst possible message. Like, if you beat them down enough, eventually they'll say yes.
Yeah,
In
even
the words of
though
the Family Guy cutaway gag, I can't believe I'm saying this. 50 no's and 1 yes means yes.
I was just about to quote the same Family Guy.
I'm gonna go more on the limb of she actually did like him, but was annoyed by the fact that
no,
he called
no,
her.
we do not
does not get a win.
no. This
Otherwise, none of this would make sense. None of it would make sense.
the only win that he gets
is the one
comes
pre-written by the fucking writers.
No, it comes in the form of this tier list. The fact that he is not below Alex. That's the only win you get, Joel. That's the only win you get.
Where's my lead pipe?
Yeah, and not to mention,
that doesn't work here.
Not to mention just the fact that he has an ego the size of the Aqua base.
God, yes.
Well,
Like,
technically, he is a celebrity in his world.
Yeah, he is a celebrity, but there's a difference between being a celebrity and being humble about it. And there's a difference between being a celebrity and being an egocentric guy to the point that I have to be like Brock from Pokemon.
Like, I don't get
what Fairweather sees in him either. Like, there's no discernible, like, anything other than,
wow, he saved the world, let me give him a date, you know.
So did the other Rangers.
He saved my life. He saved my life. Oh, give him a date. But nope, you're not getting a date with me on your own. On your own, Joel. Everyone's invited. You're not pushing.
That's what I'm saying. Like she likes him, but also she wants to fuck with him because of the whole first interaction.
Yeah.
And I mean, I like to think that now that I think back on it, like the whole thing with her brother, with Miss Fairweather's brother coming in, I like to think that she deliberately did not tell him just to fuck with him.
Yes, because everybody else knew.
Yeah, like everybody else knew. It was hilarious in its own right, but still, I hate this man with every fiber of my being. Like,
me too. Honestly, I don't know if I hate Joel more than I hate Alex because, like,
if I had to pick my my bottom 2 least favorite Rangers so far out of this whole list, it would definitely be Joel and Alex.
yeah. Oh, absolutely.
But he's not at the bottom because lobotomying your spouse is way worse.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely. Like that. It's
Yeah,
hard to
I
believe.
agree.
Hard to believe that's the bar we have to draw for these two. But
I mean, yeah, that's a very obvious bar.
mhm.
Where are? Yeah, so I think we don't have to discuss Joel any further. Like, he's getting blasted by the sea wave. Miss Fairweather is gonna go off and marry Carter.
Sure, why the
Next
fuck
up-
not?
And next up, Becky with the good wigs.
Yeah.
Corone.
Listen, she could step on me in like evil form. She could step on me in good form.
You
I'm
want her
not-
to step on you with her 80s Jerry curl wig?
I don't care. I don't care. Listen, we'll make it
And
work.
you'll also take the metal mouth.
Yes.
Back when she was evil, like when I was watching the show, it's like, why her and my mom had the same wig?
Oh my god. But honestly, in terms of Corone actually coming in and to replace Kendricks as the Pink Galaxy Ranger, I mean, it's not a bad idea considering that we lost out on Cassie being the Pink Galaxy Ranger, because it did lead. And I always question this, like, what would have happened if Cassie had become the Pink Galaxy Ranger? Like, how would have Leo got his battleizer? How would have that gone down? And hey, we have Stardust Dash. Hey, welcome. Oh, yeah, I think they're in one of the servers that I'm in as well.
Well, welcome to whatever this is.
Welcome.
Well, one of us is specifically horny for Corone.
Yeah.
I think like in terms of like character development for like this season, like Corone had her redemption arc here, and that was a great thing to kind of tie in like the lingering lore that we had and why we considered like Lost Galaxy more of like the Zordon era than the post Zordon era, even though it's written in the post Zordon era because it's post Z Wave.
Yeah.
And like there's other like little tiny bits and pieces of leftover plot, but like there's one thing that I think happened in this season that I don't think we'll ever see in terms of Power Rangers writing again. And then that's, well, I guess we kind of got it with Tarek. But that's like a well-written story from like villain to hero, right? Because like most of the time, like villain is villain and hero is hero, and there's like no gray area.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the biggest gray area I would argue is Jinjax and Toxica in Wild Force, because they were very much in the gray area.
But like they still were 100% like fuck humans. Like they just weren't fuck humans in the way that Master Org was fuck humans, right?
Mm-hmm.
They still wanted Org's superiority, but they also cared enough to be like, you don't even care about us. Like you let us be used as like fucking human shields. You know, don't want to do anything other than like take over the world because of some stupid fucking vendetta. So will there even be an orc left to like help reign with you at the end of the day? That's why they kind of fucked off. Whereas like, you know, Corone had the mentality of like, I need to atone for my sins. Tarek was the same way, like Void Knight and like Cosmic Fury, Dino Fury and Cosmic Fury, he was like atoning for his sins.
Yeah.
But like we don't really have it like outside of those two moments. And funnily enough, if your name ends in air or like ick, right? Like you're gonna have a one-on-one moment where you beat the fucking baddie.
Yeah. Well, we potentially do get it again in another season, but we have yet to get to that. Vex, but there is something coming up in one particular series where we'll have like the villain go through a character arc that leads to redemption in the end.
Oh, it's nice. Well, I'll eat my words when we get to it if it happens to the degree we had with Corone.
But yeah,
I don't think she had enough time as the Pink Ranger to have like a fully written character arc, though.
Oh no! I feel like her character arc was completed by the end of In Space, and this is kind of like the epilogue follow-up to it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much.
And she has like the comic that kind of ties in like other
Yeah,
stuff.
I love that comic, The Trial of Astronomer. I do really enjoy that one.
I think she's above Danny.
Ooh, ho, ho, ho.
I would certainly
Yeah.
put her in Kick's ass.
I would put her
Yeah.
in Kick's ass,
Big
but
ass.
I don't. Oh, do I put her above Danny?
Who had better writing here, Luke? Who had better writing? Let's be real here.
Okay, Corone.
Corone, like Danny was a great character, but he didn't have great writing. Like his best moment was like the like episode where he finally admitted like I can't focus on a relationship right now, but also like his like love interest was, you know, understanding and of that. I wish that he went back and got the girl at the end, and it kind of counterbalanced the fucking Joel season, but we didn't
Nope.
get that.
Nope. They just wanna laugh in our faces, saying like, "Oh, you want Danny to get the win?" No. And yet here is Joel getting married. But in our fan fiction, he did not get married.
No, he died horribly, painfully. He's stuck forever down there with Diabolico, getting
Yeah.
tortured.
But speaking of getting tortured, we have Katie from Time Force, who Fex would probably like to be tortured by.
Define torture, because there's a
Uh,
fine line
and then-
between pleasure and pain.
And it would be also ironic because she got her super strength through eugenics.
Yeah, yeah, like literally
mommy. Hate crime me.
like literally the first thing we see her do in the season is just like, Jen, you have to be polite, and by polite I mean throw this guy out of his vehicle and commit Grand Theft Auto.
You watch her bust a tree. Like, come on. Why couldn't that be me?
You would be dead.
Yeah, you probably would be dead. But she does have like one of the more real, well, as realistic as you can in a season about time travel, in the sense that she has that moment in where she's like, "Oh, our actions are causing the future to be altered," and it's like, I don't want to mess about with this because I don't want to create a paradox where I don't see my family again.
Why don't more time travel shows and movies have moments like that? Like, legitimately,
Because
like,
most of them want to focus on the wackiness of going through time.
and I get that, but like, there's also real consequences to time travel. Like, it's not hard to think about. Like, well, you just like stopped 9/11. Now, how much worse or how much like it's bad when Family Guy does a better job of time travel than most time travel.
You
Yeah,
gotta do that with like Fate Grand Order, and that's kind of the whole thing. Is like
Well,
with the singularities. Is
it's
you mess up the order of time. It's like you do irreparable damage to the universe.
But also spend money on waifus.
Yes, which I
But
did.
yeah, now that you mentioned that, facts about 9/11, it's always the same thing that I say to people. It's like, if you had a chance to go back in time and stop Hitler, would you do it? Like, I want to ask you guys that now. Would you do that?
I mean, like, ethically, you would say yes, right? Like, ethically, you would say yes. But the sci-fi nerd in me says no because, like, I understand the ramifications of something
Yes.
like that.
One of the ramifications being that I would not exist because
Right?
legitimately, my grandmother on my mother's side was going to marry someone else, but he died. But he died in the war, and my grandfather on my dad's side wouldn't have even come over here.
Yeah, like, I probably wouldn't exist either, realistically, because, like, if it wasn't for my grandpa getting drafted, like, there wouldn't be, like, the lore that there is for my family. So,
Yeah. So it, and also I doubt anybody. Well, maybe a few people today, but certainly the vast majority of people wouldn't be alive today.
It'd be a whole different population with a whole different mess of problems. Like, would global warming be a thing? You know, would it, like
yes, it would, because
Yeah.
you know, factories, you know,
we
greed,
could
and
be we could have been using
gotta build
nuclear power
everything.
instead of nuclear bombs on Getsu.
Well,
We don't know.
no. Global warming wouldn't be a problem because then because the Beaver Dam in Beaverton would have bursted.
No, I'm saying like
I know.
as soon as China got, you know, wanted the boom of wanting to be a superpower and over industrialized, it's like, yeah, we still would have had it.
Yeah, it would
Yeah.
it probably would have just been a different variety of it. Like but like you gotta sit down and think about like everything that would happen. It's kind of crazy. But fucking sci-fi nerd would say no. Unfortunately, even though
Yeah.
the ethics would say yes.
It's like it would make sense to do this, but I feel like somebody else would have. It would have been a vacuum, and somebody would have just plopped right back in there in the slot, and it would probably happen, but worse maybe.
Yep.
'Cause that's how the world is.
Yeah. So it is nice that we actually got that with Katie, how she was emotionally scarred from changing the timeline, but it doesn't stop them from changing the timeline.
Even more.
And also as well, we have that episode where you get the history of the clock tower base, and it's like she goes back in time and changes the timeline in that regard.
Thank you, Stardust Dash. It's fun to sit down and think about it, but like it is like why am I doing the thing I'm doing? Like it's crazy, right?
Well, the
'Cause-
whole concept of time travel is kind of trippy because literally that sentence right now is now in the past.
yeah, but like
Time
That's
travel in itself is a paradox.
Yep.
Yeah, we're literally traveling through time right now. Like, literally, this is coming. Like, that's now in the past. Now, what I've just said.
but like
That does not count.
It does.
It does and it doesn't, but like it's the stupidity of like paradoxing everything that goes on, right? Because like a week ago, if we were to go back and just go a week ago, right?
About a week ago.
If we change one little thing, we could have 5 different branching paths of like what could possibly or will possibly happen in those different paradoxes.
Yeah, like I could have gone back a week ago and gotten like say a bottle of Sprite instead of a bottle of Pepsi.
Right.
And see what happens.
that a whole timeline now because you bought a different soda is like a vastly different universe in of itself. Like it's fucking insane.
And then
like,
and then the universe would collapse in on itself because it's like Luke drinking Sprite. We can't have that. But
you want a Sprite
yeah,
cranberry? Is that what this all comes down to? You need a Sprite cranberry?
no. There's only one.
Clearly
One.
wants the Sprite cranberry now.
No, there's only one.
Was LeBron James.
There's only
LeBron
one food and drink that I will have cranberry with.
Yeah, like that was also like a what the fuck moment is like going back in time and telling and that was after all the like bitching and moaning about timey-wimey bullshit. I think she goes in too little too late. How about you guys?
Yeah, I agree.
Probably third slot. There you go.
Yeah, I mean, would you put her above Damon just for the fact that she's that she could kick your ass? She could probably kick the asses of both Damon and Chad combined.
I mean, in a 2-on-1, she's still coming out on top. But like,
There we go. There we go.
I don't think we were basing this on physical strength.
Yeah, we're not. Yeah.
I know. Yeah.
Katie wears the strap on in the relationship. That's
Also, Katie, literally, we were talking about. That's what we were talking about. Stardust.
Yeah, that's why I brought it up.
But from one Yellow Ranger to another, Kelsey, the Yellow Lightspeed Ranger, who has quite possibly one of the oddest episodes ever with her grandmother.
that
What
was
is up with this series and having weird episodes with like grandmothers and great aunts?
Okay. Yeah, first of all, we had In Space with Grand Theft Auto Granny, and now in here we have asshole Granny who for some reason relives her youth.
it was an episode of all time.
Yeah, I mean, so yeah, we had Grand Theft Auto for car with for police car in Space, and then we have Grand Theft Auto for forklift in Lightspeed Rescue.
Well, I mean, props for her for being forklift certified.
But how do we know? How do we know, Fex?
Listen, OSHA exists everywhere, so if she wasn't forklift certified, I'm sure there's like 85 violations going against that factory right now. But that being said, like, what did this, other than like being a daredevil, what did this Yellow Ranger do?
Well,
Just had one episode
well,
relating
she's-
to like a thief and him turning his ways.
yeah, and also she had that episode where she saved the doggy. That gives her points, and she saved the space shuttle from stock footage from Turbo.
And also caused like color desaturation and through everything. Or was that like Lost Galaxy? I forget. Like
When you
There's
say
a
color desaturation, what do you mean?
there was an episode where like the entire like color scheme got inverted.
It was this season. It was this season. I think it was the team up.
Right. I thought it was a season. So
Yeah.
yeah. Because like the screening they were using to insert their original footage caused everything to fucking invert.
Yeah, and also thank you, Stardust Dash. I felt bad for the Yellow Ranger in that episode because Granny cared more about a diamond. Oh yeah, well it's a super rich asshole relative.
Don't we
It's
all
like- I
have one of
can't-
those?
I can't believe we have a list of that. Like why?
Because it's a common stereotype.
Yeah. I'm gonna quote from Yu-Gi-Oh! Bishia. Why is everyone in this show either a super rich asshole or from a broken home? Or in Kaiba's case, both.
Because most of the people who have the good cards are rich, Luke.
Yeah. That's the sad reality of it, right? Because in that, it definitely worked like that. And in like Power Rangers, you would think it would go beyond that. But it really doesn't, because you still have to resort to like stereotyping and troping, right? Which there's nothing wrong. So to
Nothing
speak.
inherently wrong with tropes
It's just
and like
weird.
character archetypes.
It's just weird that like 30 years later, we're still relying on the same like 5 or 6 tropes, but done a little bit differently.
In certain cases, it's just like if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like with the whole like elf, like green, what elf that wears green, that's Archer.
Yeah.
And I mean, the only other noteworthy thing I could say about Kelsey is that she does get a bit reckless when she's like, I'm going to go into an obviously exploding building, which explodes right in her face.
Yeah.
Yeah. But aside from that, really can't really say anything much more about her. I would say another too little too late.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bottom of the barrel.
Yeah,
Yeah.
unfortunate because I really did like Kelsey. I liked her personality.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Right.
she did have her cool like moments of just being like quick on her feet to assess the situation.
Yeah.
She ducked under a bus.
Yeah,
not a bus,
that
a
is
truck.
say it's a motor. It's a large motor. It's a large motor vehicle.
Eh.
Yeah. But now we've got Kendricks, the quote unquote stereotypical nerd who's more social than Billy.
I love her. Like,
I love her, and she and this is and this gives into a problem of the Tommy Oliver show featuring the Power Rangers in Ninja Steel. One Ranger has died and come back to life, and she didn't get the amount of worship that Tommy got in that episode.
I mean, one is like infinitely more popular, unfortunately.
Yeah, it just happens to be like he was around the point in which like a lot of people got into the franchise. It's just around that time in which Tommy was fighting the other Rangers in the Green Candle. You know,
Mhm.
We can't really fault him for like the popularity that came in that, right? But at the same time, we can fault the writing for making every fucking special and spin-off and thing about him. Because, like, he is not the most important. He is, like, culturally the most important character, but there are other characters that did more for the franchise.
that is true. And I can't wait for a certain season because that'll be the most appropriate time to be like, wow, he's a really cool character, because I feel like that was his best role. But we're going to get to that later.
But yeah, there will be debates about that because I feel like Vex has different opinions about that.
Oh, boy.
But yeah, I like Kendricks, and it just reiterates just how far some of these Rangers are actually willing to go for the safety of everyone, because she is legitimately the first Ranger who dies in the series. Like straight up dies until she comes back to life because of it being a fairy tale and her possibly being in the morphing grid all that time.
Yeah. Like,
Mhm.
I think she's above. I think she's above Too Little Too Late. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't know if I put.
Kick ass.
I would say she is above Kick-Ass just for the fact that she went where no other Ranger went before. So I would put her in Jungle Sword, Savage Slash.
I'd put her like rank 3 in Jungle Sword.
Okay, so above Carter, is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, until as much as I liked it when Carter punched Queen Banshira to the point that he got blasted out of her dimension, Kendrick slashed her sword at the cost of her life.
Yeah. There's just something.
And here comes badass with the concrete platforms.
Yep, good old
Shall-
Leo.
Shall we just make a separate list for Leo and Cole in terms of Rangers who won't keep their shirts on?
No, it's not
No.
worth it. Not worth it, even for the joke. Why did this man need to take his shirt off?
Because he
Why-
needs to.
Because the
prove himself
writers
to
were
be a
like, we need to
badass.
see abs.
Abs and one badass pose. That is your job. Everything else, you're as stiff as a fucking board.
Yeah.
Um,
But Leo as a character, I do like where he starts off with just being this brash, impulsive guy to the point that his brother, who is a high-ranking officer on Terra Venture, is like, yeah, you're not coming with me on this mission where I may never see you again.
yeah, because he's Impulse King. Like he just wants to do all the fun
Yeah,
things.
that's why his brother didn't bring him along into space.
Yeah, but you would honestly think Mike would say like, "Hey, Captain, can I bring my brother along because I don't trust him to look after himself on Earth, and I want to keep an eye on him." So like, he doesn't do something stupid like
I
walk
think he
into.
was like, oh, he'll definitely be safer on Earth than in space with me. So leave him there.
Which would beg the question of who, if the offense played out like they did, but Leah wasn't there, like who would have actually gotten the Quasar say, but the red Quasar
No one,
say,
and they would have been doomed.
Yeah. But also as well, what I do like about Leo's character as well, like after he gets all goes through that impulse notion, is that he has like a complex of like, am I worthy of this power? Because
he has survivor's guilt.
yeah, he has survivor's guilt, and am I worthy of holding this power? Because it was clear that the sword chose Mike, not him.
Well, it also
initially.
chose him because if he's activating
yeah,
it,
it
it's
chose-
working.
Yeah, it chose him, but he obviously had that doubt in his mind of like, do I deserve this power? Is this what?
If he
And-
didn't deserve it, I don't think that sword would have activated for him.
Fair enough, but you do get that impression from him, and
Yeah.
and it does weigh on him until Mike does come back and it's like, hey, you're the Red Ranger. You've made it. You've made this power your own, and Mike becomes the Mega Defender. So it's like, so it all worked out in the end.
Mhm.
It's like, you got picked by this sword, I got picked by this creepy ghost with a shotgun.
What also is
Like,
surprising? Go
hey,
ahead.
hey Google, play Angel with a shotgun.
Don't play Angel with a shotgun.
Hey Google, stop, please. No
You
copyright
know what? Who Leo reminds me of?
Who?
Because Leo, despite being impulsive and headstrong, he is actually really intelligent. Given the fact that he passed the test with flying colors and had to go under Kai's tutelage, and he has a fiery ability. He's basically Bakugo from My Hero Academia, except without the whole Deku.
Without being an asshole.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Like,
He's nice Bakugo. I'll make that a meme if I ever make it a meme.
Nice Bakugo is literally just Bakugo's mom.
honestly, yeah.
Yeah. And I do like we get a few because this is like, I would say, I mean, we had hints of this before with In Space, but this is probably like the first time they started doing like the Red Ranger versus the main villain one-on-one fights with Leo and Trakina.
Mhm.
Yeah, and then obviously we have the one thing that everyone wants to talk about with Leo, the Battleizer with the awful looking
I
boots.
fucking love the
Still-
concrete boots.
So perfect.
They're a stabilizer.
Yeah, Stardust Dash. What is your opinion on the Battleizer in Lost Galaxy with the giant boots? I want to know that because they serve absolutely no purpose.
How dare
They're
I feel like he'd be flying all over the place after he uses that blast technique.
They're clunky. They're awful. They really,
Yeah,
they-
they're giant and heavy, so they can act as a counterweight to the giant laser he fires.
Yep.
So they can keep him from blasting off like he's Team Rocket.
Blasting off again. Shit.
Yeah, and I love like he got this power up from like this like warrior, and it feels like so out of place. You got this
which
like,
begs the question
advanced
now.
technology mixed with spiritualistic powers. It's so weird.
Which begs the
fucking love
question,
it.
like, how does the armor like shrink down to accommodate the person? Because I can't imagine that warrior wearing the red battle warrior, not red battle.
No, I think it merged with like, as you can see, you see bits and pieces of the light of the Orion like power up with it. So I think it merged with his portion of it.
It had to. I have no other explanation. Fucking hell.
That, and it's better than having like the Battleizer with like the fake muscles. I fucking hated that.
So where would we actually put Leo? Yeah, that thing was ridiculous. That I was rooting for the magnetic monster to drain it. Oh, absolutely, absolutely. But I digress. Where would we actually put Leo?
We're probably gonna put Leo in his awesome concrete boots
Oh no.
in Kick-Ass.
Yeah,
I put him
I
at
would say.
Jungle Sword.
But then we have to question, like, do we put him in Kick-Ass because he literally kicked ass across the Super Sentai when he kicked monsters.
That is funny. Like I never thought of that, but like I do think I do think he's like Jungle Sword. Like he's a great character and probably one of the stronger written, at least at this point, like stronger written Reds. But
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
but he did literally kick characters through back to their source footage.
Yeah. Do we put him above Carter or?
Oh
I
yeah,
would not
hands
put him
down.
above Carter.
Really?
I love Carter.
Oh, that is painful. That is painful.
Like, as much as I personally prefer Carter, I have to putting my bias aside. Leo is a better written character than Carter.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I mean, yeah, he does have much more of a distinct story arc, going from this impulsive, bull-headed guy to one who's just like, okay, yeah, I need to like, tone it down.
I
a peg.
recommend watching Giga Man to see the contrast of it just alone.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
on Tubi.
vastly different.
It's on Tubi if you live in the States.
Okay.
Otherwise, it's pirated.
And now,
It's easy to source either way.
Yar.
I think it's even on like Shout Selects on Pluto still.
Yeah, it is on Pluto. Yeah.
and now
and then
we have Max.
Wish on a Bottle, man. Wish on a Bottle. I'm
Yeah,
meaning,
I
but
think
this
Max
man
might be my least favorite of the Wild Force crew.
Yeah, I mean, I do like him. He's pleasant enough as a character.
I
and,
wanted Jack clap him more than once.
I just
Yeah, but
I
he's
just
not
find-
he's not overbearing with like his
Yeah.
jokester antics.
Yeah, he's
Right.
kind of like I mean, when I was watching Wild Force back in the day, I really related to Max because I was so fully lively of energy like him. I was honestly that person who was just like, I don't want to be treated like a little kid. And I do like that aspect of his character, like he because he feels like he's gotten this power now, he's got this responsibility. And even before that, he was like, yeah, I may be young, but I don't need to be babied all the time.
Yeah,
But yet-
I still relate to that in a degree at 30 fucking 2, but like
But yeah,
It-
sometimes youth optimism can get the better of him, especially when going to a carnival and he's just like, come on, Taylor, let's go and ride the roller coaster.
we're here to find the literal embodiment of animal Jesus.
No, we need to ride the roller coaster.
To be fair, they didn't know it at that point.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
fair,
yeah.
but still. Animal Jesus.
No, more of like we got to save like our Megazord's dad.
Yeah, we're gonna say
He went and left for cigarettes and milk and never came home.
Yeah.
He didn't leave for cigarettes. He literally got murdered by Master Orr.
He got
Yeah.
murdered over a pack of cigarettes.
Yes.
Listen,
He got
listen.
murdered over a pack of those.
No, he got murdered and he got packed.
No. I know why he got murdered over, Tyler. Because he said to Master Org, I prefer beans on toast to cheese on toast.
You know
prefer
what?
neither.
I am okay with this hate crime.
So I guess
That's a
I've got to be.
clip.
So I
That's a
guess
clip.
So I guess I've got to be the animus guy who's like, yeah, I'm going to take away the wild swords from you guys, so that you can't protect the planet. Wait, what?
What? What? You're gonna what? In the who?
It's like
Well-
you guys are irresponsibly using my children. We're leaving.
But yeah,
You're using
Wait.
my children to put beans on toast, and that is a crime.
no, it's not. I will defend beans on toast until the end of time. Stardust Dash. You're from the UK. Beans on toast is the greatest thing ever. Side with me here.
No,
Side
it's
with
not.
the Americans. We have guns and weed.
Well, we have tea. We have Mr. Kipling, the sweet. We have
we
That
like
is not inspiring me to visit the UK. I'm sorry.
and we like Mr. Blobby more than the fucking the writers did. Okay, we have a dude over here who actually bought the suit.
oh my god, Mr. Blobby only works when he's being parodied.
I know nothing about that show. Everything I've learned about that show is against my fucking will. But I know that a streamer bought the fucking suit, the original suit.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Well, anyway, getting back to someone who could be a humanoid Mr. Blobby.
Step on.
Step on this. I don't know. No, I think he's
late.
too little, too late. He doesn't
Yeah.
deserve to be in the same vein as he could get graded at times, but at the same time, he's not a guy. He's not what one character will be like. Yeah, I don't really want to see you anymore.
Yeah, honestly.
Amazoness card as a ranger.
Yeah, honestly, Amazon is sorceress as a ranger.
Thank you, Stardust Dash. I've had it once, but it's not bad. Thank you.
That's not saying it's great like you. It's just not bad. It's
I'm
like,
not saying
I
that's
can-
the
I can-
best thing since
I can
Jesus
take it or
Christ.
leave it. You know,
Right. Okay. Anyway.
I've had like $800 Wagyu steak. I'm not going to go out and have it every fucking month, though.
Okay. You guys take this one to start with. I'll be right back.
Amazoness mommy, she did possibly the coolest and dumbest things in the season. I'd have to go back to my fucking like from 6.5 months ago notes, honestly, to remember everything that she did.
She's kind of like the prototype of like our favorite, Red.
Yeah, honestly, like she really is like a proto Jen. Like she's a strong female character before they want to put her in a lead.
I met the one that can understand animals.
I consider Jen the Red Ranger. She should have been red. Fuck her being pink. But I like that there was a pink.
No, I love when they have alternate colored like leaders in both Sentai and Power Rangers.
It is a cool thing. We've never had a brown ranger, and I think that's probably for the best.
We never had a Brown Ranger in either franchise.
You put the brown pants on
We had
today,
a
huh?
parody of a Brown Ranger in Sentai, but that's about it.
Yeah. It just went all it just went all Deadpool, didn't it?
Yeah, like Maya was definitely like Cole. I
like the thing that they did near the end of Lost Galaxy where like she was going through. I liked her like bitterness episode more than I did like the Lightspeed one, because it actually made sense, because she's like, I need to protect my friend from like before I joined the group, right? So I'm going to side with my friend, even though like obviously it's a villain in disguise. But like we have like the need to weigh the fact that she's also lingering over from Zordon era stuff and have to tie all that shit in. But at the same time, like she was so disconnected from literally everything. Like she wasn't a hangover, she wasn't like a plot device for anything like Zordon related, but she still had just as much character development as like say a Zeo Ranger or in Space Ranger in like 40 episodes.
Yeah. And also I'm back. But with Maya, a female version of Cole before we got him. Yeah,
she's a mix of Cole and Jen to me, because she had that strong female like backstory, and
she had like the jungle aspect.
But also as well, her character just again, it suffers from the same problem I've always had with Tanya as a character. It's like she's
fish out of water.
she's the fish out of water, but she doesn't feel like a fish out of water, and she really should.
I
That's
feel like
fair.
in this case, like she's more of like being like adaptive, and she's a character who often goes with the flow. And she's like, okay, we do this here. It's like, all right.
Yeah.
Where
Yeah,
in the
like-
other case, it's like you're literally. I guess for Maya, she would just think of this as like, oh yeah, this is just magic in your world. I have
Yeah.
magic too, but it's not like your magic.
Yeah. Like it's like the
In
fish
the
out of
other
water.
case, it's just like you're literally in the fucking future. How are you not weirded out by this shit?
Right.
Yeah, that's exactly the feeling I get with Maya as well. She's in a pretty much the future for her with Terra Venture, and she's like, oh, hey, I couldn't be happier here.
But it works for her.
I'm saying it works for her because it's more of like she already has like the mysticism with the swords and later on with the Galacta Beast. So for her, it's just like, wow, this is weird looking magic. It was like I'm cool with it. You can
Yeah.
tell me how to make this weird magic works.
Yeah, like it worked better for her in that aspect, whereas like Tanya is just like plucked out of literal time and space, right? Whereas with like her, like with Maya, she had like the Galacta Beast, she had like the saber, she had like the daggers, probably she had all of the shit that would have related to what we're seeing here in Terra Venture, but in like a different form. But it's like prettier and shinier, and it's not like mossy, overgrown earth.
And I'm thinking maybe due to the fact, like, we don't know the full history of her planet. Maybe it went through like some form of an apocalypse,
Yeah.
and it got to like maybe she had tales of like a more advanced version of her planet.
Yeah, it could have been
Or-
like Horizon universe, right? Like you have advanced tech left over from the before times, right? But it's
or from other planets that got to her planet eventually,
Right.
but we don't know.
Or it could be a tie-in from a tie-in with Wild Force, because the Battle of Mirador was 3,000 years ago. The Battle of the Orcs was 3,000 years ago, and the Galacta Beasts are living swords with a robotic animal form, and the Wild Swords are the same thing.
Do you think they planned that far ahead, Luke? They didn't even know that they were going to continue when they were writing Lost Galaxy.
Apparently, that was going to be intentionally put in Wild Force.
Right, intentionally after the fact.
Yeah,
Right.
after the fact.
But like I don't think they were planning 3 seasons ahead at this point. Like they weren't having like the big boom toy sales like they were like at or well they
That
were
would actually been kind of weird if they were like telling at the time, it's like, hey, can you have all these seasons like connect? And they're like, no, they're all one-offs. What the hell are you talking about?
But we want to make an overarching storyline.
It's
You're
like, do you have the money for the overarching storyline? And then they said no. And then told us like, we thought so.
You gave us one payment for Zhu 2.
And you better not damage our suits again.
Yeah.
Or our props. We still remember that you duct taped fucking Zed's saber back together.
Well, that
Don't-
doesn't count because that's their original stuff. That's the Bond staff.
Yeah. So, Sed's not a Super Sentai
I'm
character.
I'm aware. I'm just making the meme of like they break fucking everything. Like, how do you break a Megazord suit? How?
I don't.
The
I
same
don't
way
know.
one is stolen.
Wait, what?
Spider-Man's robot was stolen.
What?
How?
It was stolen, and that's why they had to keep using the footage of it like attacking. Like that's why they had to use the stock footage. That's where the Megazord stock footage thing came from.
That's hilarious and depressing.
Yeah.
It was stolen, I think, like after its first fight.
Well, I put so much work into this. I'm going to take it home to my 4x4 flat.
It's depressing in the fact that that's like a really nice looking like like costume, like design wise.
It was like for the era, especially. Yeah, honestly, I'm with you, Stardust. Like that fucking instant sus vibes. But like she's so innocent and trusting at that point. Still, like she was willing to buy it. I put her in Kick Ass above
Yeah.
Danny as well.
Yeah, kick ass.
Okay.
And then we have
Edgy Boy
edgy
2.0.
bad boy who sings the deer.
Edgy bad wolf boy who's in a relationship with a princess and sings and plays a flute to a deer.
I'm
To
counting
the
who
asshole
plays.
deer.
Well,
song.
Brad-
I'm
deer.
counting that as singing. He uses his vocal cords for flute.
He plays the flute. He plays pool, and he's a bad boy.
He invented pool, and he wanted to bring pool into the 21st century, but unfortunately, people got to it first. So it's like, right, I'll set up tournaments at Winnie's Roadhouse, and can have jam sessions with the DJ org.
And we'll
I'm-
have barbecue. And we'll
Yeah.
have the bebop section.
Gonna be real.
Do you think?
Go
Go ahead.
ahead.
Go ahead. I was just gonna make a dumb joke. Go ahead.
I was just about to say, like, as much as I like Merrick, I'll say this right now. I think Merrick's my favorite Sixth Ranger from the post Zordon era. But
Okay. Oh, go
he
ahead.
is frustrating to watch. It is
Oh,
frustrating watching him. Like being all, no, I can't be around you. I'm destined to walk alone. Like, get off
Oh.
your Shakespearean horse and go to the fucking floating continent in the sky.
No, you
And
know
to
what
quit.
makes it funny? Like every time he says that, you think of the fact of wait, doesn't he have to sing to the deer?
Yeah.
Wouldn't it just be easier?
So he's
Wouldn't
up
it just
there
be easier
anyway.
to get a sleeping bag up there and get in your little
Right, he might as
pajamas?
well stay there because you have to sing to the deer every morning.
I gotta stay with the uncle at the bar and brood and talk about pool in the good old days when I
And
was.
singing to the deer sword wasn't just no one-off thing; it had plot importance.
Yeah, and again, I
and
thought
multiple references.
I hate
Yeah.
deer.
I love the deer.
I agree. I find Merrick just incredibly frustrating because it's like they build up that will they, won't they relationship with Princess Shania, and it amounts to absolutely nothing because he's human. But then what's Shayla?
A shaman,
Oh,
apparently,
oh,
because you
A
Googled
weird, like at this point, homunculus because she'll live forever.
it. She's literally like one of the girls from Midsummer. But
No,
like,
you know
not
what it is.
sexy.
You know what it is. Merrick just didn't have enough wolf in him for her anymore.
You didn't have that dog in him.
No. Also, as well, this is kind
Well,
of
he's
this
not
is kind,
Billy.
this is kind of depressing when you think about it because now that Merrick's on the earth and the Animary is up in the sky, the Deosaur's just going to get depressed all over again.
It's probably gonna go in a sleeping coma, just like the other ones.
It's like Merrick's going to be thinking now until the end of time. Now that he's with Sanaku, like, oh my god, I forgot to play for the Deosaur today. And Sheena's asleep as well again at this point. So what's the Deosaur gonna do?
Sleep also. I think they're all like a sort of coma-esque state as their father watches over them.
Yes. But also as well, what we could have honestly gone again with Merrick is a more extreme version of a fish out of water story. In the sense that because he's technically over 3,000 years old, and he's in a world that he basically has no concept of except for the concept of pool. You could have done like maybe a storyline with him trying to learn the tech of the new world.
Right. Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah, the Gal Rangers kind of do like that weird, like crouch walking everywhere they want to go for long distance.
Oh yeah, I
It's
forgot
the
to say.
funniest shit ever.
I forgot to say this about Cole's run, as Vex calls it, the Naruto run.
I mean, it is.
You're making fun of that, but that's just the generic ninja run because that run is older than Naruto itself.
It's true, but like I'm still gonna make fun of it because it's cringy in the case of this.
That being said, other aspects I do like about Merrick is the fact that he has probably one of the most unique weapons for a Sixth Ranger at the moment. It's a gun that becomes a sword and a pool cue. And if you think
it's a pool cue that becomes a gun and a baton.
Yeah, but if you think pool cues cannot be used as weapons, you've obviously never seen Shaun of the Dead.
I've seen
never played the Yakuza games.
Honestly, like I've watched
or every
pool...
beat 'em up ever.
Yeah, I've watched
pool cues as a fucking
which now I've just got this mental image in my head of Merrick just in the Winchester in Shaun of the Dead, just doing the lunar break, and then the zombie apocalypse starts happening. And he tries to do it. It's like, oh crap, I'm not a ranger anymore.
Yeah, like having bartended, I've seen how much damage a pool cue can do to a human. It's not fun.
Oh yeah. I mean, just like one really good throw down, it could take your eye out, couldn't potentially?
Yeah, like you could do that, or you could just bust it over somebody's face because you apparently were too close to his girl.
Yeah,
that's
you have like hard wood going against your skull. It's not a good time.
It is not.
Yeah. Also, the Stardust. I also like how Merrick could just sense the enemy. Yeah, Spider-Man may have his spider sense, but I have a orc wolf sense.
Yeah, which is just like the Megazord's dad blowing wind in his face. We know that from that one episode. That's literally what it is.
It's fucking funny. It's funny.
He does have the more unique collection of swords because he has the wolf, the alligator, and the hammerhead.
Yeah.
Except when they form the predator sword and the alligator's head just sticks out like a sore thumb.
It goes in, bro.
It goes in when it
only goes out for the attack.
I think he's below Carter though.
Yeah.
What do you guys think?
Yeah,
I would agree with that. What about you, Tyler?
I'm thinking Kick's ass.
All right, top of Kick-Ass.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll put him high Kick-Ass then.
Yeah.
It's just that he's so frustrating to watch. That's why
Yes,
like holding
fair enough. Fair enough.
Guy who got possessed by a bull ghost.
Yeah,
alien.
Mike. We lost the Magna Defender, but we gained a Mike.
Stupid, pointless introduction.
Boring. Disapproval.
Yeah, Mike is honestly, if we had to,
you can literally erase him from the plot, and he matters to 2 episodes.
That's the ironic thing is because him getting possessed by the ghost is just a carryover, and they kind of did a little bit more with that than him, but that's either here or there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
all
they did
we
more
wanted
than
was
the
2
fourth.
episodes and a Die Ranger prop.
Yeah, honestly, like, and anybody could have obtained the prop. Hell, it could have been a second battle item.
Hell, they could have just kept the Magna Defender alive.
Yeah, honestly.
In this version.
Or here's what they could have done. The Magna Defender spirit goes into Mike.
That did happen.
Yeah, but it's kind of like a reversal. So like the
It'd be the Magna Defender spirit in Mike's body, but it would be Mike.
Yeah, that's what I think.
And we still technically have that because now you think he's turned into the Magna Defender.
With a morpher?
With the morpher, but it's still the Magna Defender's body.
I mean, that begs the question: why does the Magna Defender have a morpher if he never removed his helmet?
He's an alien. I feel like the helmet's just a part of his body.
Yeah, or they didn't want to do the stupid deep water filter.
Oh God!
No, it has it for his son too.
Oh my God!
He's just a miniature version of him, so I feel like that's just how his race looks.
Yeah. But Stardust Dash, I liked the Christian Bale voice that he had under the persona of Magna Defender.
Yeah.
But can you imagine the Christian Bale Batman voice as an Aquitar Ranger?
No, because I would jump off a bridge if that happens. I'm tired of that voice. I hate the water sound effect voice. It is garbage.
I'm sorry. Can't understand you.
I can't understand your accent.
But yeah, there really is nothing to Mike. I feel like out of all the six Rangers, he is probably the most disappointing.
Yeah.
I
It's
agree.
so disappointing because we didn't have that much screen time with him, and also due to the fact is the Magna Defender is just way more likable.
At least with Eric, at least he has the assholeness. But now,
Yeah, he's like the space version of Jason.
Yeah.
we don't have to be reminded anymore of Jason. Let's Jason does not exist anymore.
No, we're gonna get reminded of him because of seasons later.
Yep. You don't escape him yet.
Oh God, yeah,
Don't
I know.
remind me.
Yeah,
Well,
we're
at least he
preparing.
has less screen time in those seasons.
I just wish Mike didn't have to sacrifice his powers to escape the Lost Galaxy. That was really the only contribution he actually did to the season.
Yeah, honestly, that was just one thing. It's like, I'm here on the slaver planet, and also I sacrificed my powers. The end. Oh. And here's another useless ranger.
Hey! I like Kai. Kai's not a useless
Kai does
ranger.
more than him.
Kai
Oh,
is
Kai
not.
is way more than Mike. What the
Kai
fuck are you
is
talking
not-
about, Mac?
Yeah, come on. What are you talking about?
I just don't like him.
Yeah, it's kind of ironic you say that because he's one of the Rangers who definitely does improve out of all of them.
He improves, but he's still a fucking twat.
No, okay, at the beginning he is, but I feel like this will be one of the most
polarizing thing ever because we're all like, Kai is fucking awesome. And that's just like, no, he sucks.
Like, he's better than Trip, and that's about it to me.
How dare you?
how dare Oh my god, it's getting fire now. It is getting fire now. But okay, Kai does start off as a bit of a prick, but that's due to like his military probably his military upbringing. Like he's by the books officer, only really.
I hate that. Having grown up in like a pseudo militaristic family, I fucking hate that. By the books, we got to do everything proper. Attitude.
But then,
Okay,
but
I'll give you in the early episodes, Kai was a complete asshole, but he
Yeah,
gets better. Like
he gets better to the point that he's able to. Because if he was. Because he had that episode where everyone was where the captain got manipulated.
Yeah. If
and-
it wasn't for that moment, I would put him down there with Mr. Riz Rassman. Okay.
But he knows when to do it and when not to do it. It's like
yeah,
a
he does
reasonable
learn.
person. It's just like
I'll give him above Max.
I
would put him above. I would put him ahead of Carter, Leo, and Kendricks.
I agree, Tyler. I'm sorry, Fex. We're gonna have disagreements, and this is one of them because Kai as a character is definitely one out of all these that definitely improves the most.
I'll give him he improves. But like he's still like.
Also, how can you not love the dumbass face he makes in the intro? Power Rangers, the Lost Galaxy.
I just want to slap him. I just want to slap him.
And also as well, he's a great contrast to Leo because Leo is someone who would basically disobey the rules.
That's his role. Is he's meant to be the foil, especially early on. Like you got.
And I feel like Kai is like he feels like what a Blue Ranger should be.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, much as you don't like him in the early season, in the earlier seasons, but we gotta judge it as a character whole. It's like with Mia and Ryusui and Dot Stone at the beginning when Ryusui's first introduced. I despised him because I thought we were going to get like the stereotypical rich smug asshole, but he greatly improved as he went along.
He's a likable smug asshole.
Yeah,
Yes.
and Kai is one of them. Like he's insufferable at the beginning, but by the end of it, he actually was my favorite Lost Galaxy Ranger.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, so Jungle Sword, Savage Slash.
That hurts. That hurts.
I know it hurts.
And we got Rich Boy. We got Diet Elon Musk, but he didn't take the Emerald Mine money.
I wouldn't
Okay,
go that far. He's not an asshole.
he's not an asshole. He's just a rich boy, but average. He's
Really like the I want to break away from my dad.
Yeah.
Done right, and I love that for him. Feelings towards the actor aside, yes. I would put him.
To play devil's advocate, he hasn't really. He's not done something as bad as say Ricardo or
he's just
Andrew Gray.
Yeah, he's just transphobe. And anti-science, but like that's
Wait.
fine.
I've not seen like anything from
He's hid his likes because there's a as toxic as it is, there's a like document on like the Ranger Reddit of like people that track like the stupid shit that Rangers do. So apparently he was liking some stuff that J.K. Rowling was liking at the time. But I don't know how accurate that list is. I know he was actively like promoting anti-vax shit.
Yeah, I feel like that's the only thing that I've seen him. But in terms of like the liking what J.K. Rowling liked, I've not seen anything of
Yeah,
of
I
that.
haven't personally seen that. I unfollowed him when he started liking anti-science stuff. I'm like, okay, you're a fucking idiot.
Yeah, he may be an idiot, but I've not seen anything to say that he's a dickhead.
Yeah. It and just like suckling at the fucking teat of the Legend of the White Dragon stuff. It also annoyed me. Because
But we're not. We're not judging based on the actor. We're judging based on the character, and I will always say this: Wes is and still is my favorite Red Ranger.
Yeah, no, like he's definitely one of the best written Red Rangers. I would give him.
That he's got. But this is tough now because we've got Cole and. Does he have?
He's not.
Does he have?
No, he's not better than Cole.
I would say Cole. I would say Cole edges him out for just having a stronger storyline than Wes is.
Yep. Because if you removed Wes from the story and just gave it to Lobotomy von Twattenstein down there, and the season would have progressed the same because Jin was basically the leader. Then you would have had like no timey-wimey bullshit. You would have had no in this like DNA time scan, but like you would have had like the same basic story, and you would have needed the lobotomy side plot either.
I would kind of put him at the top of Kick-Ass.
Yeah.
Oh no!
I fully agree with Sangetsu.
Okay.
I agree.
Okay,
He is not a stronger character than Carter.
Oh, Oh, that's painful. That's painful for. Okay, you had
got
it with.
high all the way up there. You
Okay.
get to deal with Wes down there.
Okay, I'll. Wes. I love your character, but I can't have 2 wins in a row.
Like, I will say, like, the one thing that Wes has going for him over Carter is, like, he has more plot relevance, right?
Yeah, and he has more. I would say more. He develops more throughout the season.
Right, because they focus more on character drama in Time Force than they do in, I don't know, fucking Peppermint Ranger. I will always call Peppermint Ranger.
And
They
yeah,
are my adorable Peppermint Rangers. Thank you very much.
and Stardust Dash, Wes's living proof that not all rich kids are assholes.
Oh, fully.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and here we go. The silver boy with the snake tattoo.
I love Ryan's initial story arc. It definitely elevates him above a lot of these Rangers.
Yeah.
I love.
Automatically above Merrick for me.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
But like, where above Merrick is he going?
He
Is
would
going
be
above
he
Wes?
would be up further if he had more screen time.
Yeah, and that's why he can't go any higher than Wes, because he doesn't have as much screen time because he's
original.
Yeah. But just that initial string of episodes from when he's introduced to when he leaves to go and find a way to see all the demons, that is like the best part about Lightspeed Rescue.
Mm-hmm.
Aside from Carter punching Queen Banshira and getting shot out of her dimension.
I will say my one problem with Ryan is that he's not in enough episodes.
Yeah, that is But what they did with the limited time they did with him, like that was just peak in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I argue they could have had more time with him because he didn't have any restraints from footage related anything. It's just that weird case of it being in reverse.
Yeah, they could have done more on morphed fight. They could have done more morphed fights with him just separate off screen, not just separate from the team. Like Queen Banshira could have found out, like, oh, he's finding a way to trap us. Like, let's send some demons after him, and he uses the titanium powers.
Yeah. But up next, it is Soldier Girl.
Who Vex wants to
with the recolor.
step on.
Oh, sorry.
Listen. She's immediately above West for me. Okay.
Oh! I feel like I've been.
She has literally almost like the most development in this season. Like, name another character that went AWOL and got immediately brought back into the service without any ramifications whatsoever.
Fair enough.
She also saved our good little boys, the Bears, okay?
Yeah, the only time when kids don't talk in Power Rangers.
And that immediately
because they didn't want to pay them. That's also not true, Luke.
I know.
Like every background shot of Mighty Morphin begs to differ. But like I love her.
I'm even saying outside of Mighty Morphin.
Yeah,
Oh, God,
and I do like the idea that she was the only reason why she wanted to join the Air Force was to find the Animarium. But the Air Force still made her a tough cookie, to the point that she's just like, nope, he's not being recruited, he's being drafted. I'm going to punch him in the stomach to prove that point.
Can we also give a major shout out to her scene with Eric, where they just
flirt? They flirt in front of the gorilla.
Yeah, in front of the gorilla. Of all things, like the gorilla's over there having his like nightly sleep / wank because it's a gorilla.
Oh, no! I don't.
No, we mean the gorilla statue.
Yeah. And then on top of the gorilla statue is the eagle sword with the actual gorilla, and they're like, "What are you two doing?"
Judging. The Bears are over there like, Mom, why are you flirting with the military man?
Because
You
I'm
know-
technically in the military.
You know, military, ex-military never works out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And-
something tells me like if Eric and Taylor were, I've said this before, but like if Eric and Taylor were a couple, they'd be like a Duncan x Courtney thing from Total Drama,
Absolutely. Absolutely. Like, you could just
where they
imagine
just
them.
would bicker with each other for like hours, and then they'd start kissing, and then they go back to arguing, then they
Yeah,
go back to
You could just
fucking,
imagine,
and-
like, one of those arguments involves Eric saying, "Well, red and black is a cooler color than yellow," and then Taylor's like, "Excuse me, I've got a gold diagonal sash. What have you got?" I've got the mega battle mode. Oh, big deal. I've got wings.
I got all of these pockets. I would resort to that because Eric would have nothing left to say. And you got 2 on your jacket.
Next up is driving school twice.
Lucas, the only guy who was trying to out Joel.
And somehow did it better.
Yeah. Joel probably would have changed his tune if he had to take care of a kid for an episode.
You know, that's valid. I feel like if anyone has to take care of a kid for an episode, they immediately get some sort of a pass. That being said,
Joel did have his cousin, now that I think about it, so he did have to technically take care of it.
That's true. So, like, I take that back.
No, yeah,
What?
we've got to take it back now that I remember. Like, oh yeah, he did have his cousin who somehow got the girl before he did.
that was
I'm gonna
clearly
take this
just a
kid-
piss.
Also,
I
another
hate-
case of Mayweather just fucking with Joel.
Yes.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
just to piss off Joel.
You know what? I really want to go back through Lightspeed Rescue now and just find all the Joel moments to say Joel gets cock blocked and just have the compilation.
Like, if you edit that, I will literally host it on the channel.
You know what?
I'll
I'm gonna
deal
do
with
it.
the copy-
I
I'll
am
deal with
I am
copyright
legitimately
strike,
gonna do that. I am legitimately gonna do that. It'll take some time, but I will get to it. But anyway, Lucas, I would say out of all the Time Force Rangers, he does do the least.
Yeah, he's still somehow
Yeah.
the guy to me.
Yeah. Much
But
as
I,
do.
I still wouldn't call him bad, which I guess that's one major positive about Time Force is that they're all consistently at the very least good.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
not a bad ranger. There's mediocre rangers like him, but there's not a bad ranger. And we'll deal with mediocrity in a second.
No, I am. Trip is just the most wholesome
You
guy
lay off, Trip, motherfucker.
who stands up to racism. He stands up to racism in his series, Vex.
He's also the annoying hacker trope, and I hate it.
Why? Because he has the crystal
He's
that can.
also, he's also a sweet, innocent bean.
Yeah. But anyway, we'll get to it in a minute. But yeah, Lucas can't really say it. But his character was just like,
Too little,
I'm gonna-
too late. Below.
I'm gonna be the cool one, cool with my hair. I mean, yeah, I get the cool black jacket, but it's all about the hair and it's all about the driving. Oh, I do have a driving license. The year 3000. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Also, I just thought of something weird, and I never put 2 and 2 together. But the cast of Time Force and Time Ranger kind of wear like almost the exact same outfits.
Well, that actually does make more sense than the cast of Megaforce wearing the exact same outfit, because they literally I mean, yeah, they could have bought more clothes, but at the end of the day, where were they going to put them? Because they don't have any wardrobes in the clock tower.
They could have had like a small makeshift
Yeah.
closet. They got enough room in there.
I guess so. But yeah, where would we? Too little, too late.
Yeah, too little, too late. Below Max, honestly, because he did less for the season than Max did.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
that's fair. And now the last one, at how long is the stream? 2.5 hours. We have Trip, who I don't care, Fex. He is one of the most likable of the Time Force Rangers.
I agree.
Yeah.
Hard disagree.
Okay. Like I said, he is one of the very few Rangers who legitimately stands up to racism.
Yeah, that's great. He also is a cheat, a liar, a scoundrel, and he just needs to never.
Trip?
Trip?
Trip.
Really?
A cheat,
What?
a scoundrel, and a liar?
What?
Now I feel like you're just making up shit.
Yeah, you're just being like that one guy from the YouTube channel RTTV that makes up shit about Zoro because they don't like Zoro, so they find ways to not like him.
I hate the buff that he has in the gym. Okay, like that's my legitimate complaint.
So legitimately, you're being racist against his species.
I'm being specious, not racist. There's a difference. But no,
I'm not-
like I don't hate the character. I hate like the ability to see in the future and it being utilized as this plot device, but it's never really utilized, right? Because you see that he has the ability to see. You see Circuit kind of not want to tell anything that's going on, but you have the feeling like it would be told through Trip because he has that like future sight, and it never really comes to light. Also, the fact that like he's seeing and cheating in cards and stuff like that is just like shitty team building.
Yeah, but that's just a game of cards.
Right. No, like
I would
100%.
definitely do that at the casino, though. If I
Oh,
had a car.
100%. Oh,
Yeah.
100%. I'm a hypocrite.
Yeah, but I like Trip because of the fact that
He grew
does
the most as a character, I feel.
exactly. He grew the most as a character because he starts off as kind of like the Max type character where it's like, what am I good for in the series? Like we've got Wes and Jen who are the fighters, we've got Lucas as the cool one, we've got Katie as the strong one.
I hated that he tried to impress everybody and tried to, follow the crowd. Like, I need to get strong. I need to do all the things. I need to be everything. He didn't want to be himself.
Because he has poor self-esteem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also,
I suffer from that myself.
As well, we've got to give props for Trip for him having to go out and get the pizzas in the episode where Wes gets his paralyzer and having to deal with all the crap that comes from that.
Like, even in the video, I was saying, like, I sympathize with him. I'm doing most of this for the sake of content. But, like, I do hate that they, like, in Time Force and Lightspeed Rescue and in Wild Force, they promoted, like, bad messages in their own right. Like, harassment for Joel, the, like, poor self-esteem, like, following the crowd with Trip. I hated stuff like that being pushed. I'm glad that they kind of address it later on and correct like them putting those messages forefront. And like the catty nature of like all the girl fights was just toxic as shit. Like those things I definitely didn't like. But I do like how much Trip grew as a character.
And plus as well, he gets points for basically being the catalyst to why Nadira and Rancic change.
Oh yeah. And like I feel like he grew the crew the most.
Yeah, absolutely. So I guess would you be okay with him being here?
Yeah, no, 100%. Like it's meant for a meme, Luke. It's 100%.
I know. I know. And I'm just doing it for content as well. Just being like the angry Trip defender, like the Piranatrons. I will all. I guess I've got to have the nickname of the Piranatron defender, but I'm not having it on the I'm not having it on the Discord server.
No one would
And
understand that.
I didn't know you were just messing with those facts. Just
like you do feel me like that these 3 seasons in particular did have a lot more bad messages in some of their episodes than like
I agree.
like even Mighty Morphin. But I'm glad that they moved past that, especially now. Like they put a lot more healthy and positive messages in there, and that's something that I'm glad that the writers have kind of addressed as they move forward. But like seeing poor self-esteem as a kid is like being put in the forefront was always something that I didn't like about like a lot of kids shows because it always like almost seemed like it glamorized it in a way. But like there's something in this list that I feel like we're missing. Luke.
What is it?
The Vipari.
No, that is vehicles. That does not count.
But it had almost as much screen time as Ryan.
No. We'll have the Vipari when we do the villains.
I very much doubt you're going to add the Vipari for that.
I will add the Vipari for the meme's sake, and I will put it down into relationship with Algar because that's where it belongs.
It definitely does not. It is the most.
It does, Flex.
It is the most necessary auxiliary equipment.
It makes no sense whatsoever.
I love it. I love it.
If I was evil and I was like not feeling
It's
like
like
flying, I would totally get a car.
okay. It's like with Goku and Dragon Ball. Why does he need that cloud when he can fly himself?
Because he couldn't fly at first, Luke.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. But he
But,
can
like,
fly now, so why does he still need it?
He doesn't.
He
really
does it
utilize
because he has a friendship. He bonded with it. The same thing with the Vipari.
Yeah,
The
Vipari
is
Vipra
no
bonded
one's
with.
The Vipari is no one's friend.
It's everyone's.
It's her friend, Luke.
No.
people, let me tell you.
I love the Vipari so much. It's the most.
See, you love the Vipari so much. Exactly. No one thinks the Vipari.
Say no to the Vipari. I'm trying to find if there's like an actual T-shirt that's "Say no to the Vipari."
I'm sure you could throw it in spring.
Nope. Only you feel this way.
Like the funny bit of all of this is like you got a Hindu actor like no one is against the Vipari.
I am.
You got one picture of her in the Vipari. That's how unpopular it is, even for this meme.
Yeah, I can't even find a T-shirt of it. But if I did, I would be like, no.
You could literally just screen grab her in the Vipari and print it on Redbubble. Nobody would care.
Exactly.
Yeah, I probably
Buy
could.
it for the meme. Buy it for the meme, Luke.
No.
Buy it.
No.
Consume.
No.
Capitalism.
Fucking ANCAP over here promoting
Consume
capitalism.
the Hate Vipar t-shirt like you do beans.
But anyway,
I love beans on toast and hate the Vipari. There's your shirt.
yes. Bees on toast better than the Vipari.
If you buy that, I will literally just tweet it out. Fuck it. Like that's fucking hilarious. I still have to buy our own. I don't have to buy. I have to get the samples because I'm the owner for the merch. I have to get a sample of the merch.
Yeah, I still need to buy the merch.
John Getsu is the only one that's bought our merch.
I will buy it when at some point in the next month or so. But anyway, guys, that is the end of the list. This was a fun little thing to do where we got to put our favorite badass Pink Ranger at the top, stomping down on her dickish former fiance,
As it should be.
as it should be.
This is the perfect this is how the toxic X tier list should go, right? Like she's stomping down on everyone because she is better than him.
Yeah.
I'm definitely not dragging real life into this bit.
Oh, you are.
Merry Christmas. Happy restraining order.
But yeah, thanks for Stardust Dash and Ben for joining us, and to everyone else who watches this either on my channel or when Vex puts it on the Control Chaos channel. Hope you enjoy it, and until next time, peace.
Bye bye.
Blech.